Hello, world. How is everybody tonight? I have a great panel of people here. We're going to have a good discussion tonight, and I want to make it positive, and I want to keep it real. Hold on. Oh, something feeding back there. All right, you guys here, or what's going on?
I'm here.
Okay, getting some feedback. I don't know what's going on.
I'm here too.
Where'd Deb go? And Linda, we lost people.
All right. Ooh. Yeah, what's going on? Can you guys hear me, or are we? I'm behind here somehow. Hold on a second.
You're going to have a 10-second delay between you and the chat room.
No, I know that. I'm good now, I think. I fixed it.
And I think Linda was going to reconnect.
And we have Becky and Green here tonight, too.
Okay, cool. All right, well, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Pete Santilli, and I want to talk about our Patriots that are sitting in jail right now in this corrupt system that are facing, their lives are in front of them, and they may face up to 25 years in prison for doing what was right, which was, standing for their neighbor, that's what they were doing. And Pete Santilli was just a alternative media guy bringing us all that news, which we have to bless him for. Excuse me, because I wouldn't be here, and I don't think many of us would have connected ever if it wasn't for Pete Santilli. So we have to give him credit, for doing and standing on the ground that he stood and never backed down. Now, this isn't a violent thing, but it was a principle thing. So he's standing on principles. And that's what we need to do in America today, is stand on our principles. Just like he did. He didn't back down. He didn't take a plea bargain. He said, take me to trial, because I know my fellow Americans aren't going to convict me of anything. So that's where we are. And thankfully, thank God that he is, exonerated of all charges in Burns, Oregon. And he's going to move on to Nevada. So we have to pray for Pete to be free of all of it, which I think he will. And then we will hear his voice. And let's pray for Deb. Let's pray for everybody here tonight. Let's pray for Connie. Let's pray for Becky. Let's pray for Clovis, everybody. Linda, everybody needs our prayers, because we have to stand together. And with all this BS that's been going on with all these stupid people, and I hate to say that because I pray for them too. The trolls, the infighting, the division, all you're doing is buying into everything that they want you to do. Go the other way, It's like in a fork in the road. You get to the road and the sign says, goodness this way and badness this way. That's where we're headed. Take which road you want. Excuse me. We are facing a lot of stuff, but I want to not forget about the political prisoners, the Hammond family, Lavoy Finicum, his family, his wife, Jeanette, and all these. My prayers have been going out to them for ever since this happened, and I'm never going to give up on that, guys. So I hope that everybody else continues to push on the fact that these people need to be freed. They need justice, which they're not getting. A little bit of justice, is happening through God's divine intervention, I believe, because that's what we've all lost, is God. Society we have moved away from that. America has moved away from it. They're too busy chasing down a Pokemon to care about your fellow man and to care about, you know, your Savior. And that's, in my opinion, Christ. You know, he died for all of us, so we need to give him what he needs first, and then move forward with it. Through his intervention, we can make major things happen and maybe save some of our country and some of our families. Most of it's been lost, guys. These kids today, they have no clue. And it's sad because they're being dumbed down because what they're doing to America is they're destroying it from within. So there's no industry. There's no real good jobs anymore. You're going to be just good enough to work at McDonald's, okay, or punch buttons. That's pull levers. That's all they want you to be able to do. That way they can control you and put you in a box. That's what they want, and that's the truth in that. Not to go off topic here, because we need to worry about our patriots out there. We still need to send letters. We need to help the Orange Hat Man out there and maybe donate some stuff. I'll put that in the link below here when I get time to do that. And we need to stick together. So I'm not going to go long on, you know, what happened in Oregon, but look what's going on with the Indians now, this pipeline thing. I mean, we've got all that going on too. So, geez, guys, it's heating up, and we're facing something that is incredible. I want to go through the panel if I can, on anybody's thoughts on, you know, what Pete Santilli, you know, charges all dropped. He goes to Nevada. Hopefully this is a precedent that hopefully we can continue to see with everybody else that's locked up. So I want to get everybody's opinion on that, and I have to put the shout out to them guys, my patriots, and they're standing for all of us. So let's never forget that. Let's never forget Lavoy Finicum and his family and his loss and where he is in heaven, looking down on us right now, which I know he is. And I know he's saying, keep going, don't stop, never give up, stand for what you believe in, never back down from what we know is right. So I would like to have first Clovis or Becky, whichever one's available here, to speak on that, please, for a minute. What we know is right. So I would like to have first Clovis or Becky, whichever one's available here, to speak on that, please, for a minute. What we know is right. So I would like to have first Clovis or Becky, whichever one's available here, to speak on that, please, for a minute. What we know is right. So I would like to have first Clovis or Becky, whichever one's available here, to
I think you're caught in a loop.
Clovis or Becky, whichever one's available here, to Okay, is that any better?
Well, the loop stopped, so
Okay, that's better then, right?
yeah, you sound good.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I had the hangout up, but I'm not going to do the hangout right now. So,
Okay,
I
well,
mean the chat. So I'm going to stay out of the chat because I think that's what was going on.
it might have been. Okay, well, I'm going to go back and mute your show, so I'll hear you from Hangouts. Otherwise, I get two of you.
That was weird. I don't know what happened.
I don't know, it was weird.
Stuff's been screwed up with Google, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's Google's fault. So I'm muting
Sure.
and you can continue.
Okay, cool. I'm sure it has. It's Google's stupid crap that I've been dealing with, because it's no different than any other time I've done a show. So there shouldn't have been any problem. But I was asking was I want your guys' opinion on the panel. What's going on? Well, we lost Becky, so I don't know what's up with that. As far as you, excuse me, is think about what's going on with Pizza and Tilly. What's going on? What do you think is going to happen in Nevada? What do you think about everybody else that is facing these conspiracy charges? We had a great victory with Pete, and I want to see it continue. So I wanted to bring this up in the beginning of this broadcast to support them, never stop, support, Jeanette Finicum and the Hammond family and everybody else. So I just want to let everybody know that, and I want people to continue. So I'm going to start out with the first person here, and that would be Clovis. So Clovis, can you intervene here? Okay, I'm going to skip Clovis and go to someone we just lost, another person. Clovis, can you hear me? What is that? Okay. What about you, Connie? Cream. All right, Diane. We're down to Diane.
I'm sorry. What's up, Tom?
Oh, nothing. I was just asking that question. I don't know if you guys heard what I was saying.
Oh, well, say it again because I was on the couch, so I didn't hear it.
Well, I was asking your opinion on Pizza and Tilly, what's happening with the political prisoners, what happens, with what happened with Lavoie, and how we need to stand with Jeanette, and how we need to stand with the rest of the Patriots. And that was the beginning of this, was to discuss that, so
Right.
we don't leave those people behind.
I like what Clovis is doing, and I'm just starting to do it, to be honest, and that's writing to the Patriots that are in jail, praying for them, and doing our best to keep their spirits up, to tell them that there are people that still love them and pray for them and are standing with them. I can only imagine that sitting in jail is a lonely place to be. They need to know that we love them and we're caring about them. So I like Clovis's idea. And when the show hosts come on and they tell you about something going on, call. I know Clovis shares phone numbers. Write them down and call the people. I know that's what I do when I hear talking about it. Of course, sometimes I got to wait a little bit. I think everybody starts calling at the same time or something.
Yeah. We lost a few people, so on the panel. I don't know where Linda and I think we had. I don't know who else we had on here, but I'm losing it too. Too much information, overload of information. Then now that I wish I could get Clovis's take on that, but I don't know where she's at. So
She said she went to make coffee, so she should be here in just a second.
oh, okay. All right. Well, how about
So what do you think, Tom?
well,
Go ahead.
I think that we have to continue to not let this go. That's what I think. We have to never let it go until it's over. We have to continue to support these people, broadcast it. We have to bring as much exposure to their situation as we can. And I think that a lot of people have let it go and they're not paying attention to it anymore. That's a problem. So my deal is to keep bringing awareness to the situations that all these patriots are going through and try to keep track of it as best we can. So that's my thinking, and I want to keep doing that. All right, next.
All right, I guess that leaves me.
That leaves you. Yes.
I thought it was a great surprise, and obviously the right thing that they decided that it was a free speech issue, and in that regard, they dismissed all the charges against Pete. And I think that's really great. And I think as the word permeated through the prison to the rest of them, it should have given them encouragement and hope that maybe ultimately their charges will be dismissed as well. But that remains to be seen. In the meanwhile, I have a friend that lives in Vegas, and she said that after the Bundy Ranch situation, which of course a lot of the people in Nevada listened to or were involved in or whatever, they voted out a lot of the Democratic liberal people, and they're now more of a conservative over there. And she thinks that even though there are federal charges remaining against Pete, that there will be pressure brought upon the federal government to follow Oregon's lead and dismiss the charges against Pete there as well. And that would be really fantastic, because they should never have arrested a member of the press. But obviously they were prejudiced and they wanted to shut him up. But so it's my hope and prayer that he will be released and can return to his program.
Well, Diane, I don't think they should have arrested any of them. They were just standing by the land and standing up for their rights. So
Oh, I agree. I agree. It was a mistake, but they wanted to shut down the movement. You know, what can I say?
right. But Pete was only a journalist, so he should not have even entered into the equation. But
No,
somebody from the government's listening. None of them belong in prison.
well, really, Kareem, to tell you the truth, Pete was a journalist, but when he got his bullhorn out and started talking about the Constitution, then and only then did he become more or less in the government's eyes now, not ours, but the government's eyes, that he chose a side, and he didn't. He was just bringing the news, you know, but the government sees him as taking a side by the way he did things.
Yeah,
So,
but suppose that's just being biased. Anybody in America can be biased.
well,
That's
no,
our right to be biased. If you have an opinion on one side or the other, that's just being biased.
no, Tom, see, the way the government sees it, I'm bringing it from the government's eyes. I know what we think. I know what we believe and what we say, but it's in the government's eyes. If he's a journalist, he's got to stay. When you say bias, he has to stay with no side. He's there to tell the news, and that's what the government is trying to more or less say. You know, when you came up to the, to the FBI people, we all watched the shows. It's there in black and white.
Yeah.
It looked like he was taking a side, and when he did that by talking about the Constitution, he automatically became a mark. You can't talk about the Constitution. We can't talk about the Constitution. That's not what our government wants to hear. So when he did that, that's when he became a target for the government too. See, we journalists are supposed to be, I guess, zombies in the government's eyes.
Right.
And we're not. Well, I'm not a journalist, but you know what I mean. He's not. And any of us that bring the true news or bring any type of current events or headline news, breaking news, you know, the government expects us just to give it and that's it. Well, no. We can have a job and have a profession and still care about our country and our Constitution, and that's what Pete is.
Sure.
Just saying.
Well, you know, that's the thing. Well, it was a victory for our free speech, because it's completely under attack. And wait till October 1st. I mean, it's going to get even worse, and it's. So what's up? I mean, how far are we going to let this go as people, where they're attacking us like this? Now, Pete was able to. They knew they didn't have anything on him really to begin with, but they just wanted to make an example out of him. Hope they could make something stick.
Right.
It's like throwing a dart at the wall and hoping it sticks somewhere. That's what they did, and that's ridiculous to put a man through that, make him go 7.5 months in jail and ruin his life pretty much. Mess his whole world up because they want their agenda. Excuse me. And They're going to keep pushing that. Now, this is where, you know, we kind of got to understand with the rest of the people that are in there, they have some more charges added on to them, which is like, you know, carrying a firearm on federal property, blah, blah, blah. They're going to keep adding on any little thing they can find to try to silence these people. But yet they kind of drew them in, you know, and that's what people want to go, well, why weren't they charged in 2014 at the Bundy standoff at Bunkerville? Well, no, they knew. They were waiting for another uprising so that they could do exactly what they've tried to do today. And that's really what it boils down to. They have intelligence on everybody. They have computer algorithms on people. That's what they're doing. That's where we're going to go here in a minute, is about the technocrats, okay? And we're going to talk about transhumanism and the future here, because that's what we're facing right soon here. I mean, it's right on us now. And that's a part of which people will always forget. Because people don't have a very good attention span or whatever, where they can understand things for very long. It's 3 days and it's gone. So really, what's going on is part of Jade Helm 15. You know, it's a part of mastering the human domain, if you will. And that is what's going on, guys, to be honest. Because with their sensors and their electronics, they can monitor everything everywhere. And they're doing incredible things that people don't know about right behind their own backs. And we don't have any say. Now, they're not asking us if it's okay to pump a bunch of aluminum and barium and strontium and who knows what else, iron, into our atmosphere. Now they're teaching kids that in school. You know, blanketing. Let's give the earth a sunscreen, you know, to protect you. You know, that's the kind of stuff they're pulling right now, and it's pure evilness. They're evil people that think they run this world without anybody else's consent. And so now we're kind of going in. I'm looking at something real quick. I'm going to try. I don't know what happened to Linda and Becky. So if anybody can help me with that, but I don't know what's going on with them. I've invited them twice.
Linda had to go and reboot her computer and do a virus scan because it's messing with her about coming in Google. So she's going to check that out. She's over. If you look in Google Hangouts, there's a message box. They've been typing in. Becky
I saw that.
And Becky said she'll be right back. So she didn't say what. She said I'll be right back.
Okay. There's something going on. And see, this is something weird that's been going on with my Google too. They're already messing with stuff. You know they're listening to us right now. They're listening to every word I say, and every word you say, Clovis, and everybody else on here. And so this is a part of mastering the human domain to them.
So this is the part to weed people out too. They're going to use this internet to weed people out. There's going to be categories. I can guarantee it. And I know I'm on the first
category. That's exactly it. They drew us out, Clovis, because I would have never done this before. I was always the silent prepper, the guy behind the scenes that nobody knows about, right? I was. Yeah. But now, since what happened in Oregon and Lavoie, I can't stay silent anymore. I have to speak, even if it gets me killed. Well, I was already awake way before that happened about, you know, everything else that's going on. But I just never said anything. And, you know, now it's time to say stuff, because if we don't say something now, at least I can say personally that I fought against these people and I tried to wake people up. Even if I didn't manage to wake many, at least I did my part, and so I can rest in peace. because I can't sit back and let this go on any longer. I cannot do that. I have to do something, just like you're doing. I feel you're the same. You feel the same way I do. How can we sit back anymore with our children's future being destroyed?
Well, that's why I said it'd be pretty good if you could do until October 1st, get some prepping shows in and give people ideas, on prepping. I told my husband that, we need to start putting out there little things people can do that don't have the income or they're on a fixed income or they have very little they're living off of each month. What can they do? And I was telling you just gotta get creative.
Well, there's many things you can do. There's lots of food you can make that will last for years. I mean, you go and there's some books you can get, and I should do some series on that, and I will. I'll put the book names together. I will put it out for everybody, and even links so they can see what to read, and then they can figure out how to make some of this stuff. The recipes that you can make and actually last for years without being refrigerated.
Yeah, but Tom, you should do some videos of you doing it so people can see how to do it too.
Right, and I think I need to do that. Right, I need to get the stuff, and I need to make the cumin, and I need to show people how to actually do that. And it's not super hard. It's a lot easier with what we have with power. It would be a lot harder to do without power. So the way they did it then was they actually used little cups and ground it up, and they had to ground up the blueberries, and they had to, do all that stuff to make it work. If you have power, you can do it with a simple blender real quick. But the fat content, the lean meat content, the drying of the meat, the mixing of it, the shredding of it, all these things is what kept our pioneers alive. And so we're losing that forever soon. There will be no pioneers. That'll all be lost soon because they're doing away with it. So that you're dependent on their system. And that's what actually works into the technocrats, because the technocrats are scientific believing. It's almost a super religion, okay, where these people believe that they're going to merge with machines, and they have the science on their side. So they say that this is science fact, which it isn't most of the time. And they say, you have to listen to me. See, they think they're exactly right all the time, but they're not. And so because of their science hypothesis, they think that we have to live a certain way.
It's another form of self-worship. They think that they can evolve beyond even God.
Right, exactly. They think they're going to become gods, for God's sakes. And it's not my word saying that, guys. They say that. And if you ever do your research on that, you will listen to them say it. And that if anybody gets in the way of their becoming gods, they will be dealt with. And you know what that means. So these people, and this is real. This is not some sci-fi show I'm doing here. This is reality. And pretty soon, look at the chips, look at the implants, look at the smart cities, look at the stuff they're doing with, you go to London, go to the city, man, everything you do is being watched. Here it's being listened to, it's being watched, your irises are being scanned, they know your eyes, they know who you are, they know where you are, they know how through your smart meter in your home and your TV and your refrigerator, for Christ's sakes, they know everything you do, how many times you go in your refrigerator, how many times. All this data is being used and stored and also being sold. So they're going to send you ads if they know that you're into guns or you're into cosmetics or you're into. That's what they're going to do with it, and they've been doing it, and it's sick, guys. And so it's going to.
The other thing I don't put past them, Tom, is to start making guns that don't actually work right, you know, and things like that to mess
So
with.
it's going to be biometrics. It's going to be your handprint or your sweat or something that allows you to actually shoot the gun, so that it's, you know, only you or whatever. And then they'll go beyond that too. You know they will. They're already beyond. They're let me say
Right,
this.
but anything
They're,
like that, they can computer program so that it can backfire on you too.
sure, they can shut it down. If they, it's just the same thing with implants. Okay, for your income, your chip that you're going to get in your hand. What does it talk about that in the Bible? Okay, you're going to get the mark of the beast, and basically,
Revelations.
yeah, and basically, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. So without the mark, which is the chip or in your head, in your forehead, or in your right hand, they're going to put that, which they're already doing. So you're not going to be able to have a choice. They're going to tell you, all right, this is your limit. This is your lot of calories a day. This is, you know, that's what they're going to do. And if they want to shut it off because you're being a pain in the ass to them or you're rebelling against them, they'll just shut your chip off.
And those that
And
don't
so,
take it will be beheaded.
yep. And this is where we're headed. And, you know, people don't realize this. This is biblical. Everything that's going on. Obama going to the UN, sitting the first time a United States president has ever sat at the head of the chair of the UN was Obama. So we are moving down this road where I personally, I'm looking at biblical aspects of it, and I see these things happening. And you know what? They've happened over and over again. And it's kind of like, okay, this is telling me the truth here. I see this happening. I see it happening. Why would I ever deny that? Because it's actually what's going on. And I know that you see it that way too, I'm sure. But we all need to help each other realize that, you know, God never said not to fight, okay? He wants us to fight. He wants us to sell our linens and pick up a sword and fight back. Put the armor of God on. That's what we have to do. We have to put that armor on and we have to fight. And that's what I'm here to do. And whatever my role is or whatever he wants me to do, I don't even know what it is because that's how it works. He's just guiding me in some mysterious way to do that and to try to wake people up and try to get people saved and try to, you know, save as many as we can, because in the end, we know we're going to lose almost everybody. And only in the end will be the elect. And will be the ones that made it through it because they were wise, because they put their armor of God on, because they went through the tribulation and knew what was happening and had the knowledge and knew what was coming to protect themselves and their families. Those are the ones in the end that are going to be something special. You know, now I don't think that you have to do that to be saved. You have to have faith. That's all. Church, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to. It's not about your works. It's not about, you know, all that stuff that's going to get you saved. It's your faith alone in Christ and what He did. But there's things you can do beyond that when you're working for, when you have the Holy Spirit in you. And you're
Right.
working
The
for
faith
Christ.
is the first part.
Right. That's the very first thing. If you don't have faith, that's what gets you saved. Once you have faith in the Christ and Yahshua, what He did for you, then you move forward. And it's a
Right.
slow
And then
process.
show your faith by your works.
Right. It's a slow process. And by showing your works, that's not what gets you saved. It's your faith. But, you know, let's show your works. Let's try to go out for what's right and for Yahshua and Christ, if you want to call him Jesus, whatever you want to call him. Let the Messiah. Let's go out and let's try to save people. So I want to save people. I want to save them. I want to get them prepped. I want to get them to where they're preparing. I want to get them to realize what could happen at any moment and that they could die tomorrow. So if you could die tomorrow in an instant, we need to have faith because they're not going to be saved. They're not. They're going to be lost. And so we need everybody we can get. And that's why I kind of found I don't try to be a religious channel or anything like that, but I have my faith, and this is something that I guess he's calling me to do, is to try to wake people up. You know, as many as can be woken up before we go through this great tribulation, which is coming.
Right. And the more prepared you are, the better off you are. You know, if Jesus didn't want us to prepare, he wouldn't have warned us about the things, the birth pains that are happening right now. Right now, we're in the labor pains of the whole thing. But labor, you know, just like any woman who's ever been in labor, you know, it may feel like forever while you're going through it, but it does not last as long as what, you know, one might think.
Right. Then it's over, and then it's like, what a relief, and you feel better, and you know, things
and
are
you know,
great.
I'm sorry, Tom, I shouldn't interrupt on your show.
No, go ahead.
You know, the Bible says that people will holler for peace. And what are people hollering for right now? They're hollering for peace.
No, not everybody is. Not everybody's hollering.
Not everybody.
Well, I'm not talking about leaders and stuff, but most of the mainstream people, the main people, most people are saying we don't need a war. We need peace, you know, peace on earth and all that. But the thing is that's what's going to give rise to the beast. Not to the Antichrist, the beast. The Antichrist will come later, but he's going to come and he's going to pretend to bring peace on earth. And we're going to think the labor pains are over and it's time to take a breather. And that's when we need to be aware and say, oh, crap, now it's time for us to really be prepared.
That's when it's really going to come down, yeah. I believe so, too.
Right. There's going to be a fake peace for just a few years, and then they're going to really drop the bomb, and it's really going to come down on Christians. And if y'all thought the Holocaust was bad on the Jews, you ain't seen nothing till they come down on people who truly profess their faith in Christ, the Messiah.
And let me say this, you know, you look at the Deagle, if anybody's done this research, like the Deagle report and America2050.com, stuff like that. When you start looking into these things, they've been saying for a long time that by their own numbers right now we're at 231 million people in the United States. Okay, well, I would say it would be more than that because they uncounted people. Maybe like another 50,000, 150 or 50 million actually could probably add to it. But what they're saying by 2025, we're going to be at 61 million. So you're going from 351 million to 61 million in the next, you know, let's say 8 years. Where does that leave us? What do you realize how many people that is? And they also show the dollars, the military budget, everything. And it's also a CIA and NSA and DOJ backed, you know, website, which basically runs it. So if you really do your research and look at who's really behind these websites and then read what they're showing you, what are they trying to tell you? And what about, okay, the 11 sanctuary cities that they're talking about, you know, where that's going to be the stack and pack. That's going to be Agenda 21, Agenda 30 thing. That's what they're pushing for. And they don't want us here. The Georgia Guidestones, we can talk about any of that. The numbers they want us to be reduced down to a more manageable number. And so we're like cattle. And that's what they're going to do. And that's how these people look at it. The technocrats think of it that way.
And they want to teach our children to be against what we have raised them to believe in, and our grandchildren and so forth.
Exactly.
Guys, but also you got to think too, God said, take up thy sword. You know, He don't expect you to sit there and just prep and be out. You know, you're going to outlive the situation.
Right.
Come and get that's what I'm saying. I said that earlier. Close up. Pick up your sword, sell your linens, and get a sword. That's
I
what he
was-
said.
I was-
Jesus said that.
I was just about to read that. It said, then Jesus asked them, when I sent you out without purse or bag or sandal, did you lack anything? Okay, and then he tells them to sell that and buy a sword. In
That's
other
right.
words, he's not expecting us just to prep and hide out. We're literally going to probably have to fight one day. That's,
Well, we are.
you know, that's the
Yeah, but there will come a time when we won't be able to too, because you can't fight a whole army.
Well, a lot of us will lose, and it says that in the Bible that most flesh will be, I can't remember the exact words off the top of my head, but will be destroyed. And so, yeah, there's only a few, 144,000 that are left. I don't know if you guys Kareem, you probably can explain that. There's not going to be that many. So there's only going to be a certain amount of people that actually heed his advice and are safe.
Yeah, 144,000. I don't know if that means that there'll be 144,000 left after the rest are killed, or what that means, but the number is 144,000, 12,000 for each tribe of Israel. Now remember, if you're a Christian, you are grafted into the tribes of Israel.
But we're all, see, that's the thing. We're all Jewish if you go back in your family tree. So it's not really so much of that, I don't think. Like, you don't have to live in Israel. You just have to be, you can call yourself whatever you want. You can be an Israelite because that's the way a lot of people see it. I think the 144,000 that are left are selected to, from what I understand, I could be wrong, to carry on the word after all the tribulation and he actually comes back. Then the world kind of starts over, kind of like after Noah's flood.
Right, only this time there won't be any evil in the world. But we've got a lot to do before that happens. I mean, it's not a long time, but there's a lot to do in a short time. And remember, Jesus said that the days would be shortened so that the elect could withstand it. But he encourages us, and I do believe we are part of the elect. He encourages us to endure till the end.
Right, exactly. And that's exactly right, because we are the ones, okay, that are going to make it through it because we knew it was coming. And if we prepare for it spiritually first, get right with the Lord, get right, then let's think about having that faith in our heart, and then moving, okay, what can I do to protect my family? What can I do to get ready for the storm that's coming? Because there's a storm coming, and I think we all realize that here. So we're going to have to get ready for it in any little way we can. Even if you're on a fixed income or whatever it may be, you can still prep. You can still, even though it may be not the best food in the world, you can still eat it and survive. So people go, oh, it's not organic. Come on, you're buying cans. Buy some cans, man. Go to the dollar store. For people who can't afford it, just go to the dollar store. Right? Or am I wrong?
You're right. We go to the food shelf and we get extra cans of vegetables and stuff and we just we pick a couple of meals where, we're either eating something else, a fresh thing or a hot dish or something. So we put a couple of cans. It's not a lot, but we put a couple cans a month away, and we have powdered milk and evaporated milk. And then we learned how to dehydrate eggs to make powdered eggs so that we could, make pancake mixes and put them in Mylar bags.
Sure.
It's flour, sugar, eggs, powdered milk. You know what I mean? So that all we have to do is add water. And the other thing, Diane brought up in the chat, especially for a lot of areas of our country and the world, water is going to be a very scarce supply. Remember, 1/3 of the water is going to be dried up too. That's what the Bible says.
Absolutely. That's what's going on. And so the water, everything else, water is the most important. So we have to really think about the water first and where we're going to get it from. I know places that are secret to me that are pumping out fresh spring water. I'm not going to tell anybody, but I know where that is, and if I had to get there, I could probably get there pretty quickly. It's not too far away. So there's
Right.
places that you can go and get that fresh water that is coming out, and I can get it. I can get that. So not only that, having a hand pump well, having some bleach, definitely some tablets are good because you can get the purifying tablets. You can buy,
vinegar is also good. I like using vinegar instead of bleach. It works on a lot of stuff, really.
Sure.
And it's
Get
more
mother
natural.
of herb. Get the mother of herb vinegar. It
Right.
has the actual.
Well, I use Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and that works really, really good. And you wouldn't think so, but it works good at taking smells out of things. It works good like an antibiotic, and Listerine too is a very good antiseptic, and bugs hate it. If you get the mint kind, it'll keep rodents away too.
See, there's so many little techniques, little secrets that most people don't know. Laundry detergent, the little ones you put in your dryer, those little towelettes. Those, if you rub that on you, it'll keep the bugs off. I mean, if you have something like that, if you can go to the Dollar Tree or the dollar store, those
Also,
things.
If you look online, they have these things called, I think they're soapstones. My daughter has them. So that if you do have to bug out, you can still wash your clothes, because those soapstones, they last quite a while.
Sure. And you know what else? There's lots of plants you can use. There's cacti that you can use that you pull the root up out of. And if you know the plant, you know what you're looking for. And you can actually, that turns into soap. You can take and cut the whole, dig it out first. It's going to take a little work, but dig it out and you can cut it, and you can actually use that and add a little bit of water. And next thing you know, you have lather, you have soap, pure soap, right out of a plant. You just have to learn what's in your environment.
See, that's the important thing. You got to look around where you live, not just looking. I mean, the books are good. Like my kids, they collect those books, but that some of them, like I looked at, I said, hey, this ain't even going to fit for where we live. You got to look around and know what's in your environment. I mean, right now we don't have to bug out, but I do believe the day will come, because we cannot buy, sell, or trade. So they're not going to let us stay in our homes.
They're going to want to put you in a FEMA camp. And then they're going to want to put you in a housing system or a workforce system. That's what they're going to want eventually.
And they're going to want you to worship their system or die.
Right. Mark of the beast. We're going to worship the devil. Lucifer himself. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to go, like where I live, I know about the cactus. Well, we have some cactus. We have some palms. The palm roots are edible. You can make a stew out of that. It's really good, actually. There's a lot of things you can make that are really good. The Indians made here. So we have to learn how, I think.
Make a stew out of what? I missed that, Tom. What did you say? Make a stew out of what?
You have to make it out of palm root. The palm plant, there's a lot of different palms, but one of the native palms here, you can just go right out, and if you dig it up, you can use that root. It's very edible. It's very full of protein. It's very good for you. Better for us than we could ever eat today. So
dandelions too. Dandelions are very good for you.
There's so much, and there's dandelions here. There's palm root here. There's cactus
you can make
here.
dandelion tea. You can make medicine out of dandelions, and
also another one is the pine trees, pine sap. I call it what do I call it? Jeez, my mind is gone. But the lighter pine. Okay, lighter pine has a sap that's very. If you have a cut or something, you can take lighter pine sap and put it on there, and it's like a liquid stitch. You just put it right on, and it'll cover right up and seal. Let it dry, and it'll seal your cut, and that stuff's great. And not only that, that stuff is so flammable. It's like turpentine, and it'll light with a spark. And so there's a real easy way to start fire. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Yeah, and there are several stones you can use for a flintstone if you ain't got the flint stone. You know what I mean? Not flintstones as in Fred and Barney, but you know what I mean. There's different ones.
Oh.
All you gotta do is be able to create a spark.
We're up against the Grand Poobah, laugh out loud, right?
Yes.
You get what I just said? We're up against.
Yes, I do.
So that's why it's important for us all to get ready for these things and have some knowledge, because it says right away that we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and we will be. Well, majority of people will be destroyed for their lack of knowledge. And
the other thing we got to do. The other thing we got to do is exercise. I mean, my dad used to tell me how he walked 15 to 20 miles a day doing a newspaper route because he lived out in the country. I couldn't walk 15 miles today. You couldn't get, I'd be dragging. We have to get stronger physically, to be able to handle that.
Yeah, we have to get physical fit, because if we have to carry a load, and I'm worried about that right now myself, because I've been working a whole lot. I used to be such in good shape, and now I'm kind of losing my shape a little bit. Oh, Lord have mercy. But I need to get out there mountain biking again. I need to get riding. I need to get hiking. I need to get doing those things again, so I get myself in that shape that I need to be, in case I have to hike out of here or ride my bike out of here.
Snake put in the chat, Tom, that birch bark is also good for bugs.
Yes, it is. And that's another good one. And you can rub that on you, and it will help big time. I used to live out in Colorado, by the way, Snake, for almost 4 years. I went out there to Lakewood. I lived in Thornton, Northland. I was out there and went up through all the mountains, Pikes Peak, did all that stuff. I worked for multiple companies out there that I did stuff with, but so I know where he's at, pretty much. I worked in downtown Denver. What a joy that was. But anyway, for Snake, yeah, I know where you're at. And you're right, birch bark, that's a good lighter too, man. You can light that stuff up pretty easily. And so we need to learn the survival techniques that we need, because we are going towards this transhumanist, health for everything, transgenders, for God's sakes. We got all this stuff going on. This is happening now, and we're facing it, but people are too busy with other stuff. The Pokemans to chase that Pokemon down. Let's not think about survival. Let's not think about your children. Let's not think about your grandchildren. Let's just let that go and be too busy playing some Pokemon crap or watching something else. People need to start with the technology we have. It's a double-edged sword. Okay? It really is.
That is true. Like, you can use the internet to find out information, but it can also be used against you to track you and stuff. You're right.
Yeah, it can also be used for you to go chase Pokemon or watch. You ever look at what's trending on YouTube? My God, is it sick? Trending crap on YouTube. Everybody's off in La La Land. Meanwhile, we're being destroyed. And so my way of thinking is, hey, wake up, wake up. They're destroying us. They're destroying society on purpose. And if we don't get together to figure out how we can fix some of this stuff, and at least help each other out, as humans, to get ready and understand how to do certain things that may not be comfortable, it may not be cool, it may not seem cool, but in the time of need, you're gonna need to be able to do that. To skin a buck, You're going to need to be able to run trout line. You're going to need to be able to skin a squirrel. You know, you're going to need to be able to do those things that most people can't fathom, because everything comes through the grocery store. No one goes out and actually has to do anything anymore. Our society is being lost. Our children are being completely programmed and manipulated into exactly what they want them to be, which is subservient and what's the other word for it? They're going to accept everything and obey their masters. No, that's what's going to happen. I hate to say it, but it's true. So,
Hi, Tom.
really, hey, Becky, what's up, girl?
I'm
I know
feeding
you
my dog,
understand
so if
this.
I mute out, it's because they're barking. But I completely agree with you. Practice in your backyards, practice wherever you can with those techniques and skills. You can't just expect to read it out of a book or learn how to do something by reading it and then succeed your first time. So you want to practice ahead of time.
Right. That's exactly it. Go out, even in your backyard. Look around your backyard. Look what kind of trees are out there. Find there's a lot of different plants you can use for, if you want to start a fire. The wood it matters. The actual, some of the shoots that come out of those plants are perfect dowel tools, that you can use, because they're almost perfectly straight to begin with. And then you might shape them a little bit when they're green, okay, before they dry out. But then you shape them. You do what you need to do. You make a block to put on top. You can do bow technique, hand technique. People need to learn how to create fire without a match, okay, which I've done, and it's not easy. It's so hard, it's unbelievable. It took me forever to do it. Right? It took me days of trying. I thought with all the information I had, well, this will be easy. No. It's not easy. Someone try it one time. Anyone on this panel, please try to do that sometime. Make a notch, do it all, sit there and spend the time, carve it out, and try to make that happen, because it's not that easy. And so maybe, hopefully, one out of your group will be able to make it happen and actually start a fire, because that's a critical thing, and to be able to cook and stuff while people are out hunting. If the women at the camp can get the fire started and gather some stuff around the camp, that's the kind of stuff we really need to think about, which is a lost art, and it's being lost every single day, to the point, and this is on purpose. They're doing this on purpose to put us dependent on them, to where we have to go into their camps, we have to accept their help, we have to live in 200 square foot house. This is what they're doing, and that's why the name of this video is Technocrats and Transhumans. That's where we are headed. We are not far away from that. We're maybe 15, 20 years. I don't even know if it's that long. We are there now, really. So. Okay, dead air.
Hi, Links in the chat room. How you doing, brother?
Brother Links, I can't see my chat room because I had to shut it down because of whatever interference is going on. But Links thinks the same way I do. I know he does. We have to prepare for this type of scenario where we're going to go back to caveman stuff, really. Living off the land. That's what we're going to do. Indian style. That's what's going to happen, I believe.
That's why, Tom, I believe it's a good idea. What we try to do anyway, and is go ahead and bring it into our everyday lives now.
Right.
Like I said, I think I said once before, like, yeah, we have a dryer, but we rarely use it. I mean rarely. Maybe for a comforter, if we need a quick dry, for luxury reasons.
Right.
But every day I hang my clothes outside, and I also have the old-fashioned racks where you hang them inside. And we do that with all of our laundry already. Already at nighttime, we light with oil lanterns a lot of the times instead of even just turning on a light. It's not really about the money. It's about getting yourself so you're not so shocked. So getting yourself where you're not so shocked when you do fall into it. You're already prepared for it a little bit.
That's right, Becky. Because if you're not prepared and you're a city slicker, I hate to say that word. So, city slicker. I hate to say that. But if you are you live in the city, you're not used to having to make a fire or be lanterns like you're talking about. I have all my oil lanterns hanging all around everywhere. And I have, because like the hurricane, when it came, it could have hit us, but it went north of us. So that was okay. But I was already ready, and my generator, my fuel, it works from my shed to my house. I've already got it wired. I ran all the wires under the ground, did it all the right way. And it's all ran ready to go. So in case something happens, I don't have to listen to the generator. It's sitting out there in a ventilated building, which is going to power my house for what I need. So we have to think about it. Same thing with hand pump wells. That's an important thing. Hand pump well is so important. Most people do not think about that. But you can put a hand pump well on a well that's already established, and you can get your water right there. So you don't have to go out and hunt it. You can hide it and then hand pump your water. And so that's important.
Or for power, you can use the hydropower.
Mm-hmm.
If you have access to a stream next to you. If there's any way, you can always use hydropower.
Right. And that's something that our doggone government doesn't want you to know about. And they don't want you to understand that either, which we could run our whole country, but free of any kind of crap too, So they're screwing around. All the powers to be, the money, the oil. That's crazy.
I totally agree with you, Tom.
I know you do. We've always been, for some reason, me and you, Becky, we've always been very understanding of each other, and I can talk to you so openly, and you seem to understand it. Some people don't, and I'm glad that you do, because we can actually do so many things that we're not doing to help humanity itself, but it's because the greedy people in the world, they don't want that. They don't want to have us, living like that, where we're like using hydrogen power or anything like that. It's all there.
Yeah, Guitar actually brought up a good point. I'm also subscribed to the same channel. It's called Primitive Technology on YouTube. I actually love that channel. Anywhere from doing the in-the-ground fires to building an overnight shelter, it's in there. You wouldn't believe what's around in your area that you can use to survive over the night, or to keep you warm, or to get you just a little bit of water out of a weed or something. It's a good channel to watch. I'll actually, if I can tab over and find it, I'll put it in the link for everyone in the chat.
Okay, cool deal. Put it in there. They need that, and that's something that I try. That's one of my objectives, is to get people to realize that you need to prep and prepare, because I talk about whatever. We can talk about transhumanism and what they want to do with the chips and the machines, and everything else they want to do to people, which they're getting ready to do, and they're already doing it, actually. So they're already doing it, and it's mainly hidden from us, but they're doing it with soldiers. We're looking at those. I'm looking at like the local level of stuff, like our returning veterans and stuff. When they go, they'll chip a lot of them. Most of them are already chipped from the beginning when they go in. They put a chip in, they put a FRID chip or whatever they're doing, so they can track them. They can see them live where they are in the battlefield. And I have friends that are high up in the military
Really, Dad? I'm gonna take
that
the
have told me
remote,
that.
like you
So.
tell Caleb. I'm gonna take the
I can't hear
remote.
him talk. Can't tell.
Go ahead, Close. Let's listen to Tom. What's he saying? What's going on?
I ain't muted. I'm not muted. That's why I've been muted most of the freaking 90s. Freaking 90s watching the tube. My office ain't done built. Anyway, I'm just listening to everything you guys are saying because it is true. I mean, it's coming. We see the signs. It's here. We have to prepare ourselves, like you were saying. But most of all, we got to have that faith in God, because and I'm going to explain something here. I'm not someone to go sit into a church house. I do believe there's a higher being, okay? And if people need to understand something, everything that I have been researching, I've been researching for the last few months, 2-3 months, seriously deep in research. Everything, even the scientists are leading back to the Bible. No matter which way you look at it, I tried to debunk, to debunk that situation, but it's coming back and more and more and more and more. So, you have scientists that people will think of it, oh, they were a scientist. If you asked who they were a scientist. But even they are going back to the biblical times, because that's where it's leading them back to. If you go to Nostradamus or you go to B.B. Banga, it leads back to the same thing. No matter which search engine are in your mind that you use to try to debunk that this is not biblical, then you find yourself saying, yeah, well, there's no fight about it. It's biblical. And we have to get ready. And the prepping ideas I think they're cool ideas. I think when I do drawings, I'm going to give away little prepping items like flint starters and, things like that when I do. But, people, there's so many different things you can do to prepare to have. And like he said, and like Becky said, start using lanterns, start using things that, candles. See how, just start taking your time. Get used to the old yeah, like Tom back there just said. Got 2 Toms in the house. Get back to the old ways. Like when you do your okay, for instance, I thought, my mother-in-law brought me these. I was like, what are these? And she had tore them off and threw them in a bag. But I learned from her just 4 years ago. Fire starters. She says you save your lint and your dryer sheets, if you even use dryer sheets, but save your lint from your dryer. Put it down inside one of them cardboard egg holders, and then pour wax over them. And you can use wax from a candle you've been burning, or anything. You just tilt the candle and the wax pours out. And just do that, let it set, and then you break off each egg holder, and it's a fire starter. And we've used them for the last 4 years now to start a fire. You only need one per fire. And that is a good idea to have, because we don't know how, when, where, the exact moment in time, or what it is going to be. But there's so many things that are following biblically that's scaring the crap out of me. And we just need to be ready, but be ready to prepare to fight too as well. I mean, I'm not going to give up my guns. I'm not going to give up any type of my constitution. It's not going to happen. I won't. So, and that's what's going to go first. I mean, it's already going. Look at, here Obama hands over our nuclear weapons to the UN, and now he's handing over our internet. We talk like this, guess what? We're targets. They're not going to shut the internet off on you. They're going to learn who you are through the internet, and that's how they're going to weed out who they're going to keep, who's going to go, because this is rebellion. And when you talk about the Lord, or you talk about your Constitution, or freedom, and your liberties, and you talk about prepping, you are a target. They're looking at you. As voicey as I've been about the government, oh, I know they're watching me. Hello, hello out there. But it's just the point. We gotta take everything and just, even if it don't come this year, it comes next year, spring or something. We don't know what's going to happen. We just know things are changing dramatically in these 2 months. And here we're supposed to have an election come November. Is there going to be one? Obama's working fast and furious. And now that he knows he's got other countries that don't like him, that snubbed him, you can't like a person and snub them. You know, I don't care what politics. I looked on Google a while ago, images. And I'm going to, I got to look at them again here so I know what I'm saying. You got to see, our leaders are what says our future. Okay? And it's true. They are. Our leaders are the future of every country. Whether they fall, they get strong, they win wars, they lose wars, no matter what. The leaders are the ones that, I'm going to show you this group of, okay. I looked up the UN because you said that he sits at the seat, okay? And when you see some of these pictures, can I show it, Tom?
Sure.
Okay. When you see some of these pictures, and I wanted to look at the body language of the leaders to each other, okay? Now, look at all these people. These are your world leaders, okay?
Important security message.
And hold on a minute.
Please.
Okay, I'm getting tired of this Internet Explorer, Tom. Okay, hold on a minute. Ah, jeez, this is every night. Okay. All right. I don't know if you hear me, but anyway, here's the group of the leaders. Okay. Now, if you take that off, I seen Putin and them and how they stood with each other and how they looked at each other, and I'm here to tell you. Oh, wrong one. I'm here to tell you. It's not good body language at all. At all. When you see Putin beside, look at the body language with these men and how they approach each other and look at each other. These are leaders from all over the world. Okay? And I was looking at Putin and Obama, and I'm telling you right now, guys, it's not a good, you can read, I read people, and it's not a good reading at all. The ones I've seen. I'm going to quit sharing until I find it, Tom, but here we have things are happening among the leaders, and you have things changing. Christians are being sought after. You know what I mean? And evil is creeping through. So we got to take it upon ourselves. What are we going to do about it? As we, are we going to just sit back and wait till the day comes that we have to deal with it? Are we going to be prepared to deal with it? That's what it is now. I would love to say impeach Obama. It's not going to happen. I mean, even though that's what we'd want, but it's not going to happen. So with all the bad out in the world that's happening, and then we got ISIS leaving messages, they're going to start blowing up homes. Homes. People are in them, living. They've already made the threat. That and cell towers. I'll have to send you the link when I dig through my files, but it's to the point it's getting scary. It's just, it's evil has spread across the earth like a plague. And I'm talking the earth, not just our country, but everywhere. This is times that I thought I'd never see, and I'm 53 years old. So if it's bothering a 53-year-old woman, and no, I'm not senile, I show proof of everything I talk about. It's time for us to start preparing ourselves, because we're not going to get that government out of there right now. And there's so much damage he can do in the next few months, because they don't want anyone coming in that office and finding out who's crooked and who's not crooked. See, Trump is a shrewd businessman. And he got permits given to him that any other person couldn't have got if he did not do his donations to the Clinton Foundation. The Clintons had their hands in everything, from banking to real estate to foreign affairs. Who the hell are these two? Where the hell they come from? But they are the main source of all this evil here. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying we need to prepare, but we need to keep our faith in God at the same time. And with them two things, I think you have a chance, because I do believe there's going to be sections in this earth where there's going to be rebels. There always has been, always will be. And it just, I don't know, it's a scary situation. So I don't know. What do you think, Becky?
I think you're very right. You're right on key, and I think there's one key element that a lot of people aren't going to expect to have to make a decision on, and they will have to make a decision on, and that is those of us who are awake that have family members who aren't awake. There's going to be some tough decisions made. They're going to be denying running and filling their belly, starving, and say, I want to turn and go in here, where they say they're going to take care of me, when we know what that ultimately means, and we won't want to do that. So we really have to pray for that too, because there are going to be some hard decisions. Some of our family members are going to turn right and go into a FEMA camp while we turn left, and we're already put on list. Now they're starting to narrow it down to the ones that their voices are being heard, that they think are doing damage, that they think they're waking up others. They're going to start nailing us on the net hard and fast come October. I agree. So I have no fear of dying. Not anymore. Thanks to me waking up more and more and more, I gain strength in God and the Lord Jesus Christ. So I will make that left turn instead of that right turn when it comes to be. But as I look at and think of it right now, I think my 25-year-old and my 21-year-old will make a left turn and go right into that FEMA camp. And I'm going to pray and I'm going to beg, but if they go that way, I'm not going to follow them. I refuse to take the mark of the beast.
Well, here's what they're going to do. A lot of what they're going to do to everybody, they're going to lure you in with your children. If you have children, they're going to use them against you. And they will, because they will capture your children, and this is true. Okay? They will take your children out of your schools, and then they will want you to come get them. So when you come to take your child, or you come to get them, you've just been trapped like a rabbit, or like whatever you want to say, a mother that's concerned, any animal. They already know that, and they're going to use that against you. So please, parents out there, anybody that can hear my voice, do not do that. Do not warn your children that if they want to take them out of their school, which they've already done, the Department of Homeland Security has already done that. They've taken children out of the school without no permission from anybody, and taken them away to where do you think they took them? To stadiums. That's why the NFL, the AHL, all these groups are involved. They're going to take your children off to some stadium somewhere, and you're going to have to go. They're going to call for you to come get them. And then when you come get them, they're going to take your ass away too. And see, people don't believe that. They think that's, you're crazy, tinfoil hat wearing freak. You think they're going to do that? No. Why are they simulating that? They're simulating it and already doing it. So for everybody who's a denier, look into that. Don't take my word for it, just like Cove said. Do your own damn research. Research that and figure out what's going on, because this is happening now. And they will come take your children. They'll lure you right into your trap, into their trap. And that's what they're looking for. And they've beta tested it. They've done it already. They're continuing to beta test all what they're getting ready to implement. Which, okay, look at the executive orders. Where are we now with Obama? I can't even say his damn name. Pisses me off, okay? Where he's making these executive orders that we can come take all your stuff. We can come take you, put you in an internment camp, labor camp where you're working for them with no pay. Okay? This is all reality. But people in this world can't grasp, the average person does not grasp the fact that he's already done all these things. That's what I'm trying to say. We're screwed because they can come anytime they want and take my stuff. Well, if I don't be careful about where my stuff is and how I handle myself, then I'm lost, man. I'm just like everybody else. They'll just come get it and they'll come take my stuff. Just like I've read letters from people who lived in Poland back in the day. Or let's go back a couple hundred years. Okay. Let's just go back. Let's read some letters from, and I wish I had them right here, and I need to do this. I need to put them up right here so everybody can read them. Of the people who, their families in their neighborhoods lost 90% of their neighborhood because they weren't prepared. And the government came and took their cattle. The government came first for that. Then they came for the grains. Then they came for everything. That's what the executive orders that were put in place are for. So that they can actually come and take anything you want, anything you have. Not what you want. Anything they have, they'll just get it. They'll take it away. What's that leave you with? What are we talking about the Deagle report for? Why are we talking about the reduction of our society down to 61 million people over the next 8 years, from 31 or 30? Well, they say in their report 321 million down to 61 million. What does that mean? You guys realize what that means? And that's a government-sponsored and run website. So if you understand, you go look at some of the stuff. They're wanting to reduce our population down to nothing and put us in centers. That's what they want to do. Do you want to be free? Do you want to live free anymore in America? We have to. If you want to live free, you better freaking stand. You better wake up. You better realize that our children's future is being destroyed. They have no future. They're slaves. You're gonna put them in a little 200 square foot apartment and make it trendy and make it normal. That's what they're doing. They're making it. They're normalizing the fact that you need to live in a little bitty place, in a little bitty apartment, and you need to just eke by in your little world. Well, they're destroying freedom. It's communism, it's socialism, it's Marxism, it's everything combined that they're putting together here. And that's a part of the New World Order, and that's where we are headed. It's biblical. We are facing this stuff. And if anybody wants to deny that, they don't believe me. Please do your own research. Please. Because
they don't believe that Us humans are good enough. They believe we were cheated by God. Hence why the Bible's used so much in so
That's
many.
what happened with Adam and Eve.
Yes, their ceremonies. And that will eventually lead into this transhumanism. They believe they can achieve immortality without God,
Right.
and we're a waste. We're just cattle to them. We're building the structure. We did what they need us to do, and now we're just polluting the earth.
Yeah.
And
We
making
are.
it worse for them. And so their agenda is to depopulate us.
Mhm.
And it's a hard fact. We have to realize some of us won't survive the initial. It will come to pass. Some of us won't survive. We can prep all day, all night,
And we still won't survive. No.
and we still won't survive.
I agree.
See, she's Becky. Me and her are like two peas in a pod because she understands exactly what I'm saying, and that's where we're going now. And they're pushing us towards that every single day, where we are going to be limited to our resources. They're trying to destroy America completely because they can't have America being strong in order for them to bring in the New World Order. So that's why they have to destroy us and get rid of our sovereignty and get rid of our free will to bring in that new world order that they want, which is full control over everything. And that's the children, everything you do, they want full control of.
Yes, we're taking right now. We're using their oil that they want all for them. We're using the land that they want all for them. We're using the water that they want all for them.
And it's the resources. And again, and you just said it. Yeah, Becky knows what she's saying right there. They want to use everything they can for their gain. But they want to destroy us because we're using resources. We're actually, consuming stuff. So really, they don't want us to consume anything. They want us to go to the side. That's why they're going to have chips. Excuse me. That's why they're going to have chips. That's why they want to have a limited amount of resources, a limited amount of protein you can have per day. This is what's going to come down to. They're going to come down to the fact that, hey, you know what? I don't know if you ever saw that movie where they have the greenies or whatever. I can't remember the name. Some interject here, but where you're living off of the green, you're living off of humans. Actually, it's what you're living off of, and they're not telling you that. When people figure it out, they freak out. But that's how we are going to end up if we don't stop this before this is too late. We are done, guys, unless we figure out.
They don't want us. They don't want us here on the panel to have the chip. They want the ones that are sitting in front of the TV watching mainstream media that they don't have to argue with so much. Now they'll take us if they capture us, but they want the sleepers that'll blindly come in and they can use as their slaves to complete their process.
So what
And I
happens?
think you're talking about the Matrix, maybe. Tom, was it the Matrix where he unplugs? All the humans are.
It's an old movie. I can't remember the name of it. It's where they were like all fighting over food, and it was the greenies, these little green box that people were eating, but it was actually turned out to be humans.
Oh, I know what. I can't remember the name either, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that
Sounds
movie where they were doing
feeding
that.
off of.
Right. They're actually eating the humans. They didn't realize it because they used to dump a pile of greenies. That's what they called them.
Yeah.
Out there for everybody to eat. And then they realized they were eating humans. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we're facing in the future here. If we don't stop this crap and we don't fix it soon, we are, and that's the thing about it. I don't know if you know about so window or whatever the hell you name it. I'm not getting the word right. But they're talking about all this money they have, and they're talking about how they're going to release a lot of the money. It's this stuff is ridiculous because people are buying into it, and they're not going to actually get anything out of it really. And again, the money doesn't have to do with it. That's not what's going on here. This is a spiritual battle, and we have to figure out which side we're on, obviously. So we know we're on the good side. All of us here, hopefully, are on the good side. And so we can actually battle this. You know, even though we may not have a lot, we can still learn how to survive and how to understand what's happening to the world. And that's the biggest thing. We're losing so much right now. It's so sad.
I think I heard you and Clovis, were you talking earlier about like Pokemon Go and stuff? That's kind of like the molding of the mind versus metal that you read in the Bible. You know, the clay. That's kind of what they're trying to do, is plug us all in right now. They want to plug us all in because what does all those games, the movies, the TV, we all know all the symbolism in there. We all know the secret messages that go through there, and it catches our subconscious. Look how many people are addicted and that don't look up when you go down the road. We're already progressing fastly towards it.
Sure. You know, that's the problem. I mean, Soylent Green. Soylent Green is the thing. You know, we're so eating humans, right? They're gonna continue with this.
Yes, they think that by using technology we can better our physical being, our thinking, just slowly start to replace human parts with technology. I mean, already think of the small things we have with our heart, mechanical heart, you know, valves and things like that. But think of that on a larger scale. Think of connecting the brain to a beehive where, you know, one thinking is controlling all of them.
Right. That's called the singularity. And that's what they're trying to do. The
And that's how they
singularity.
want to cheat God. They want to achieve immortality by the minding of the human being with technology. Or the molding, excuse me.
Yeah. You're exactly right. And, you know, that's the thing that I understand about me and you. We understand this stuff for some reason.
Oh, Clovis and Diane, I know they know too.
Yeah. Well, some people won't. And I think everybody on this panel understands that. That we are moving forward towards that. So we have to, if you care about your children and stuff, you have to figure out a way to get out of the matrix. You have to get out of it and go solo, or figure out how to prep or live off the land, and understand other ways to survive other than letting them control our lives. That's what they're ready to do.
We won't be getting one of those, you know, the parts that help you live on. That's not for us. That's for them, you know, to achieve it. The transhumanism is for them, not for us. It's for who they select it to be for.
Right, exactly. And
use us to achieve it.
Let's stay with that, and let's stick with, you know, let's be proactive, and let's move forward with our human, okay, because we're humans, right? I'd rather be a human than a transhuman. You wanted me to put some chips in me and some stuff? No, I'm not going to do that, because I have faith in Christ, and I'm not going to let them do that to me and move me into their matrix. I don't want to be a part of that. Now, I don't know if that's wrong or right or whatever, but I don't want to move into that.
Guitar even said in the chat room, you know, like that's why they made high definition TV. Better for mind control. People don't even know that they're under and currently getting mind control right now as they turn on their nightly shows or their weekly shows, or they don't even know what's happening.
And Becky, the damn thing's listening to you. You know, they're pushing all this information out of your home that is being listened to, so that they can promote, ads. You know what I mean? Your new Samsung TV is spying on you. You know? And people don't realize that stuff. The technology is all connected, and they're listening to everything we say right now too. So good for them. But you know, you want to hear what I have to say? Let's see what I have to say. Go take your ass down some river somewhere and go away from me. But your Samsung TV's listening, your devices in your home are connected. It's all a part of their new grid system. And they can't stop. It's like they're addicted to that. These engineers and stuff, they want to know everything. But yet they don't even realize what they're doing. It's again a hive mentality of these people. They want to know. They want everybody to be a part of the same thing. I don't want to be a part of that. I didn't sign on to it. Where did I say that was okay? I did not say it was okay to take all my information and sell it to someone.
The only plus that we have in this is that it's such, Clovis, do you agree with me on like, it's such a big mass data that they're gaining on us that no human can read everything they're gathering, all the info they're gathering on us. The humans that are reading it cannot keep up with the computer that's gathering all the information currently about us.
Right.
No, they can't. I mean, you can imagine that one database is holding so much information on so many people. That's why they have to start weeding out who, what, you know, so they don't have so much they have to do. I mean, look at it. Could you imagine? Think about how many people, you know, let's just use our country, for instance. That's a big enough chunk. But how many people are in our country total? What's your guess?
350 million.
Exactly. Could you even work in an office with 20 others and try to keep information on that? You know how big the database is and how many people are employed just to keep an eye on that? You know, I mean, it's material gathered. Like, instance, okay, we went to the pound to get the girls a puppy because our family dog had passed on. It really upset Joy, and so we went and we got 2 puppies. They were sisters. They came automatically spaded. This was like a dream come true. I didn't have to pay for none of this. They got them spaded, their shots, dewormed. They took care of everything. And they even put a tattoo where they're spaded, so if another vet sees it, he can tell that they're spaded. They also put a chip in the dog's ear in case the dog ever come up missing. They could help you find your dog. Okay? Now think about it. Your information goes down when you get a pet from the pound anymore. They have your name, number, work, everything. Your address, your birthday, everything. Now that I think about it, all the forms I had to fill out in order just to adopt 2 puppies. And it came with a chip in their ear. You know, technology, how long have they been doing that with the dogs now and cats with chips in their ears? Little tiny chips, you can't even find them. Now, when they were puppies, I could feel right where it was. But now that they're big, I can't. But that chip's in their ear, and they have all the information on them dogs' owners that they need right now, and start the tracking.
And they're actually testing it right now. With some people already have a chip, you know, to get into school. They're giving them credit cards. That's kind of like a beginning stage practice thing they're doing. Some kids have like a card with a chip in it to enter school or to enter their jobs now.
That's what I'm saying. Everything. And if you pay attention, this has been coming a long time. These cameras up on these, we got them a lot here in Missouri. They got cameras at all the intersections. It ain't just to keep an eye on traffic control and if there's an accident, no, they're keeping an eye on you. It's just mind-boggling.
That's part of
Zoom in on your car and see you.
That's part of the smart grid system that they are implementing all over. So they're going to do this everywhere, and it's just a smart grid where they have your iris, your facial recognition.
Yep.
They have you, wherever you are.
Exactly. So they've already been keeping an eye on it. So just every aspect of your life, they're going to find some way to get it in there. Like my dogs, they both have chips in their ears. In case they come up missing, they said, and I got to thinking about it a couple nights ago, and I was like, wait a minute. They got all of me and Tom's information inside, concerning that chip right there in that dog's ear. They already know about us. Well, they already know about me anyway. I mean, I made a bust on Twitter. Facebook.
Now, what's the new advertisements now going around? How you can pay quicker.
Yep.
Haven't you seen those advertisements with your cards and stuff on how you can one-stop shopping type of thing? Like,
right.
Speed up the line is the gist. Like, this is a good thing.
Yeah, not only that, but if you can learn this stuff. I'm having a soda, guys. I'm sorry. I'm about to fall asleep on the caffeine. You can think about it, guys. Okay. The chip they put in you will trade, buy, sell. You know who you are. Your doctors know who you are. You just walk in instead of signing in and paying a copay. You just swipe your wrist or whatever. Okay. You become rebellious. Don't you think that there's ways if they can do something that scientific? Don't you think there's ways it's also a timer? You mess up and you're gone. Think about it. You think it's just a mark for them to keep an eye on you? Think about it. Now
What was the name of that movie? Oh, Clovis, you just brought up a good point. There's actually a movie that everyone should watch.
Yeah, there's some out there.
Yeah, and if you don't comply, if you do something wrong, just push the button. And why do we think that the movie The Gray never came out?
Yeah, because that's what he was talking about in that movie. He hit it right on the head exactly how it's going to be.
He was murdered for wanting to show the truth.
Exactly. He just happened to be married to a Muslim, no offense, woman. And who could kill a child? You know what I'm saying? A Muslim can. Radical people. It could be a radical, I don't know. The FBI shocked the shit out of me when LaVoy got killed. You see what I'm saying? So I don't trust no part of the government as far as being someone that's going to protect me. It's not happening with our government guys. And I'm not talking against them. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti not being, protected under the Constitution laws. That's all I've got a problem with. And it's gone. The protection's gone now. So what are we going to do about it? It's a situation. God don't expect us to lay there. And it's just, I hear people, I'm going to go to the mountains. I'm going to go to the woods. I'm going to, I hear all that talk, and it does make you think. Would you do that? Would you actually go camouflage up and go? It gets people thinking. I mean, me and my husband, we've been prepping. We know, and we just don't know when. But things are happening too quick. This election's coming up, and they don't want Trump. Trump right now is very popular. I mean, he's got pretty much. I mean, they're going to give, listen, look at it. They're so scared they're going to give refugees or immigrants the right to vote. Vote what? They know nothing about our government. They came over here for refuge. Yeah, exactly. We can't go to another country and vote. Them countries they're coming from, They won't accept us like we're accepting them.
Gonna cut our heads off.
So, see, it's coming. It's here, guys. You got threats being put out all across the internet. And I was sent this thing and I was looking at it, where ISIS is threatening homes, to blow up homes and schools and towers, the cell towers. And yeah, my son works on them. And you know, it's scary. Now we live in a frightening world. The world in which I didn't want my children growing up in, I now see my grandchildren growing up in. And that's just wrong. So we as a people are just going to have to get vigilant and start figuring out how we're going to do this. You know, how are you going to? And they may kill us all. They may not. It says the meek shall inherit the earth. So there's got to be some good that's going to make it through it. You know, for the meek to inherit the earth. So I don't know. It's just scary.
I don't care about it.
To me, I think that's going to be just the tip of the iceberg is
Yep.
what's happening right now. Yeah, to get everyone over here so that we can do as much damage to ourselves before they have to step in and
It's one of the diseases.
do the final depopulation.
Look at the situation. They're coming over here with diseases, just like it did back in the Mayflower. They came over and gave Indian diseases the Indians were never used to. Okay, you get used to your environment. You get immune to certain things in your environment when you're born and raised there. These people are coming here and they're not vetted. So when I say the word vetting, I'm talking who they are, how's their health, they're not vetting them, guys. And they're letting them in. Okay? We're going to have sicknesses on top of that we're not used to. And then here, another scenario is, look at what CERN and HARPS is doing to our world, to the whole world, not just our country, but the whole world. And they're messing with that. You know, you mess with God's creation, you're going to anger him a little bit. And yeah, God does get angry. You know, you can't mess with his creation. They're doing it.
Here's the thing. You keep messing around with God's creation, which has to do with our genetics.
Yep.
So they're messing with our genetics, and we are being messed with genetically up and down the line. And so, in my way of thinking, all right, God's going to intervene, you know, because He's not going to let this continue on with the genetic modifying. We're modifying the food. We're modifying humans. We're putting embryos and pigs that are human embryos. We are doing so many things right now that God will not allow to happen. And He will only allow this to go on for so long. So we are going to face something that most people do not realize. We're going through those times again.
Yes, like the flood. That's why the flood was here. Think of the Nephilims and the giants, and you mess with God's creation too much, mess with DNA, yes.
And
You're going to pay the price. God's going to intervene, and He's going to let you know, hey, you're not going to do this anymore. You're messing around with my creation, and I've had enough. And sooner or later, He's going to say enough is enough. And I believe that that's going to happen soon, because people are scientists that have no faith, they have no understanding of reality, really. They live in their little world, but they don't understand what's going to happen. It's like the flood. It's like Noah's flood. That's the same thing that's going to happen again.
It's just also, like I said, God promised that He would when He destroyed the earth with water, He made a promise He would not destroy it with water again. He was going to destroy it with fire.
Fire.
You got CERNs cooking up.
Fire.
Yeah, CERNs heating up. They're wanting to go 100%, man. They go 100%. God only knows what they're going to do. They want to know what energy it took to create the earth. You're messing with God now. You're messing with His territory. You know, Mother Earth is going to kick the butt out of all of us for the sake of people that want to get a noble freaking mention of what they found, and they have no clue what they're looking at.
Well, anyway, we have a new guest here now.
Hey, Mama Lions, how you doing? She gotta unmute.
I've always wanted. I wanted to get her on my show anyway. I want her to be in here. She's cool, so I invited her in.
Yeah, she's very cool.
I'm good, sorry.
Hey, sweetheart.
All good.
Oh, good. I was sleeping, and then I heard your call, and I was like, oh, who's that calling me?
You wanted
My
you.
sorry butt. That's what I was.
How y'all doing?
You're doing good. You sound like, yeah, you just woke up. That's what you said. How's your son doing?
He's good. He had a little bit of trouble getting to sleep tonight, but it's because it's warm. It's too
Yeah.
hot for him to, settle down.
Right.
So,
Sleep with a fan?
no, it's not even worth having a fan here. It's so hot, just blowing hot air around.
But if you put it, because we sleep with fans year round, ain't that something? If you put a
Yeah.
cold rack on the head and just put a fan on you, it cools your whole body, or put it on your neck. And a
Yeah,
fan, God, you can sleep
The
good.
wind from a fan annoys him because they're highly sensitive, right? They have like over-sensation,
Yeah.
so if it just bothers him to have
Oh,
wind blowing on him. Yeah.
poor baby.
Mom, I need to show you or do a video on what my husband made, because he made like a homemade room air conditioner out of a 5-gallon bucket.
I saw that online. I was gonna do that.
Yeah,
That's an awesome
Yeah,
idea, actually.
it'll cool down a
we did
12 by
that
12 room.
really well.
Yeah, because
Uh-huh.
my windows are too big for a normal air conditioner.
Becky's asking me how much air conditioner.
His I'm not supposed to have air conditioners in his room because
Yeah, you just
of his epilepsy.
put you a,
The freon and stuff like that, the chemicals that are in the air conditioner can trigger his seizures.
Yes, and with him being hypersensitive, the fan's also going to drive him nuts too.
And the sound and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's so bad. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Like I had to get rid of my dogs because he couldn't have those because he has got an allergy to the. Yeah, so much stuff.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks. I see you came in. Thank you, brother, because you're like a prepper like me. You think like I do.
McDonald's HEK
tell him I
is like Soylent Green. It's that simple.
Oh, they know I prep.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not being unrealistic at all. What Lynx is saying is realistic. McDonald's, all this crap. They're buying Soylent Green. They're living on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what they're getting us ready for.
Yep.
You realize?
the frog. That's a frog.
Full control. Your life is not yours, it's theirs. And our children, unfortunately, our beautiful children that we can sit here and look at now, they have full control. They want full control over them. And it's sick. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of them people trying to tell us what we can do with our children. So we need to wake up, guys. Everybody here knows that.
Hmm.
And people need to share his video. Give it a like, subscribe, and share, please, because other people that we have on our Facebook, I've ran across, every night I'm running across 1, 2, or 3 that is listening to my show by sharing it. Let's share his. I shared yours on my page too. And, let people hear these things, because there's some people out there that don't hear this stuff, and then when they're like, wow. Like I had one woman tell me and my husband are tuning into you now in the mornings, Clovis, Coffee with Clovis. And they tell, would bring up a couple of shows I've done, and it's like, that's cool. And share this stuff. When you're in someone, I share Mike Soror's, share the shows, guys. It gets the word out to other people that can hear this and maybe learn something from it. So please,
Clovis, that's the objective. I don't have any other intent here. I don't have any other reason to do this. I don't want anything out of this.
Exactly.
I'm not here to do this other than to get people to wake up.
Exactly.
If I can use this platform to wake people up to what we face and what our children face, I don't care about myself really. I mean, it's, what I care about is the future, because our future is dim. It's sad. It's horrible what I'm looking at here. And I look at like Langston, he has a young child, and you have babies there, and I'm looking at that, and that's what I care about truly.
Yep.
I'm trying to be a humble person. I am humbled, okay, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way. I want people to understand that I'm just trying to get them to understand that we are in deep trouble, and we need to get ready for it. Let's humble ourselves. Let's get ready for what's happening. Let's get ready for what's coming. I think people like Lynx know that, because he's a person who thinks like I do, and Becky does, and Clovis does, and we all do. So let's just try to come together here. That's what we need to do. We need to not be apart.
I think the biggest thing is people are just afraid of change, period. You know what I mean? People don't want to face it because it's too outside of their comfort zone, right? So when somebody gets comfortable, it's really tough to move them from that comfort spot.
Well, then they're going to be in
You know?
shock zone when
Mm-hmm.
they have to change.
What's going to happen,
Absolutely.
guys, is
Yep.
in the future, there's going to be no such thing as comfort zone.
Yep. None at
It'll
all.
be survival zone or full belly zone. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that. And that's what it's going to be about in the future, because every little person right now thinks that everything's okay. They've got something wrong. And when we realize that we're not okay, that we need to prep and prepare for what's coming to us, then we will understand. Okay? But we do not understand yet, and it's going to take learning how to do a lot of things, and that's what we have to do. Again, we have to learn on our own how to make fire. We have to actually do it. We actually have to learn how to skin an animal. We have to learn how to live off the land on our own, not projected. Okay? Not something that you're projecting that I'm going to do. Something that you need to try to do now so that you can actually do it later. Because once you do it, you can understand it. And then you have already understanding, okay, this is how we do it. So then you can implement what's happening. So basically, people are not going to be able to do that. Okay, the majority of our society will be screwed when this happens. When something happens that
Is that a win? Right?
Right.
well, it's a win, yeah. When it does,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
well, it will happen. It's just a matter of when.
No, I wasn't talking. I was talking to Tom. It's raining and windy. I'm sorry. I meant to mute. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's
Also,
just a matter.
oh, sorry. Here we go again. I'm so sorry. I swear.
You're all good.
Well, you want to talk about the Patriots too. I just found out. Now listen to this. This is asinine. Okay, they're getting ready to start the trial with the Bundy brothers. Okay, they're talking about now their clothing and shoes is an issue. These are cowboys. They wore nothing but boots their whole lives, from when they were toddlers up till now. And Ammon Bundy said, okay, well he'll wear, I'm reading it here. He'll wear boots that's not steel-toed like he's used to. No, prosecutor said that's not enough. That could be used as a weapon. They're going to make them wear slip-on loafer shoes that they're not used to. And
Now, wait a minute. We already took up a few not me personally. I want to reword that. But several pairs of cowboy boots were bought for them.
they won't let them wear
So
them.
that they could have boots in there so they could have something to go to court with a couple of months ago. And now all of a sudden those aren't allowed?
Nope. It says Ammon Bundy's co-consul, here says Ammon Bundy decided to wear non-steel toe boots. That must have been a pair that was gotten for him. But that was shot down as well. It's all for the safety precautions, claims Barbara Alfano, the deputy U.S. Marshal in charge of the Bundy trial. After all, the defendants might use banned items as well. And whatever that is. Ammon Bundy's co-consul Morgan Philpott said since his client is innocent until proven guilty, he should be permitted to wear whatever he chooses. These men are cowboys, and given the jury will be assessing their authenticity and credibility, they should be able to present themselves to the jury in that manner. Okay? And now it's slip-on shoes and loafers are something they have never worn before. On Wednesday, the Oregonian, which I don't like the Oregonian, reported that Ammon wore a gray suit with a white dress shirt, and his brother Ryan Bundy was dressed in blue jeans, a brown leather vest over a white dress shirt, and black loafers. They're making the men wear black loafers.
Okay. Can I speak on this first because I'm biting at the bit?
Yeah.
Okay. I've worn cowboy boots almost all my life. It's part of your personality. It's part of you. You take that away, the person themselves are out of their element.
Exactly.
Okay, you're already taking the person out of their element. You're putting them into something there.
That's
They
what
put themselves in. That's number one. That's wrong. Number two, they have never proven to be dangerous people at all, ever throughout this whole process. From before they were arrested until this current time we're speaking.
Problem is they call them terrorists.
Number three, I think as they present themselves out of their element, they cannot present themselves as who they really are to whoever the jury.
And that's the calls we should be making to the prosecutor up there. Damn, let the prosecutor hear our opinion. That's not right. I'm not from Nevada. I'm not from Oregon. I'm not from Montana and all them places, but I do know that they are trying to make the men dress down so the jury sees them as a different person than what they really are. And that is bad. That is bad, bad mojo. No, I'll make the call myself. Hey, who's with me? Come Monday, we need to make calls to the prosecuting attorney and tell them, no, this is bull.
I'm with you. I wore my shorts and cowboy boots to Mike's Freedom of Speech in Columbus. That's me. I don't feel comfortable in even shorts and tennis shoes. I'm sorry. That's the way I was raised. So I would feel awkward. I can just visualize myself feeling awkward.
Yeah.
Let someone else speak while I calm down a second.
I'm just telling you what I just found that was sent to me. And their lawyer is fighting it because he says that they've never, okay, Randy Bundy told the judge, I'm accustomed to boots and a belt. There has not been any showing that these men are dressed any different from any other defendant, the judge proclaimed. Let's get going, folks. You're wasting time, she added. I'm getting a little fed up with her.
In other words,
She's taking their rights away.
She's not going to respect how they are or who they are.
I'm going to make a call
That's
Monday.
a person that don't care about them.
No, they want to punish these men for loving the Constitution and being God-fearing men.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember they're standing up against.
I wear a belt with everything too.
They're standing up to the
That's
United
just
States.
what you do. If you're used to riding horses, you do that type of stuff. It's your everyday life. If you're used to being out and around animals, it's just your everyday life. To take that away from them, they can't even represent themselves as themselves. They're not giving the jury or anyone the true picture of themselves. That's taking away part of them to every person, including the judge and the jury. I'm calling.
I'm calling too. And you know what Tom just said behind me? My husband. That's the trial of the devil. That's the trial of Satan right there. I said you said it.
I will do it in a very, mature way. I will do it in an educated, knowledgeable way, but I understand. I instantly got that feeling. You know how, like, we don't wear watches anymore, but how we used to all wear watches, and we forget our watch at home and we felt naked and out of place all day?
Yep.
Or to a man, if you always wear a ball cap or something and then something happens to your ball cap throughout the day, you feel awkward all day.
Yes.
It's anything like that. To anything, a ring on your finger that you're used to always having on your finger, and then all of a sudden it's not there and you're rubbing your hand all day. That's the feeling it gives you.
Right. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, her name is U.S. District Judge Anna J. What I'm going to do is we need to find her phone number. We need to call her office and let her feel. When you do, if you guys do, even if we didn't post it and you got the idea to do it, listen, when you call, be respectful. No cursing. And talk like you got some sense to you. So this judge will listen. Call angry, you're not going to get nowhere. You have to call and act respectful. And I just think it's wrong what they're doing to these men.
I so agree. And the whole thing is, this is the American cowboy type thing, you know what I mean? And that's what they're taking away from them. And they know that. They know that's been kind of like the heading of all of this cowboy type title. But you definitely got to be respectful when you call. You have to word it and also follow it up with an email so that you get some kind of response from them. And we need to start some kind of petition against this, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and contact a few people on my end and see if we can't get some kind of petition started.
Yeah, because this ain't right. This is taking them out of their element. And that's not fair to them. And hold on, I'll have you something here in a minute.
Well, the prison strike on right now too, right?
What prison?
Like in 24 states, there's like 40 prisons that are started a prison strike today.
Oh, well, it ain't there. I ain't heard it. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Lynx, you got an opinion here? You're muted there. Tom, it's your show.
She says in 42 different states, there's some prisoners.
No, 24 states, 40 institutions are on prison strike starting today. Well, the 9th.
That's kind of like a setup deal.
That's a big setup deal.
Letting you all do what you got to do, because you have information that I may not have. So just go on, carry on.
Say that again. Thank you, Tom. Say that again, Mama.
It's 24 states.
Don't yell it at me. I know you're getting aggravated.
Sorry. No, I just brought it closer to me.
Carry on, guys. Carry on.
24 states.
40 different institutions.
40 different.
I got it. Institutions. Yeah,
it's on the anniversary of one of the riots, I think.
Are on what kind of strike are they on? Hunger?
Prison strike.
Wow, I'm gonna look that up. Thank you for that, because that don't sound good either. Not at all.
That's suspicious.
That's suspicious with that many 24 states on 40 different institutions on prison strike. That's not good. That's a lot. Wow. Well, I'm okay, I have the information, Becky, on this woman, the judge, her office, everything. Do you want it?
Yes, please. If you could put it wherever you want to put it, I'll find it in one of our boxes. One of mine and yours, that'd be great.
Okay.
It's the
I'm thinking of how I would feel, if I was taken out of that element. And I think about the circus jury already that they're put in. It's like you need a Willy Wonka golden ticket to get in. They say it's a public trial, but yet they put it in such a small room, and it's a federal room that only a few people can be in there. And even like Deb Jordan had, you you can't even make noises now in there, like, or they'll put you out. So even when she was thinking she had to cough a little bit and go on a little bit of a coughing spree, if you exit the courtroom, you can't get back in. And she had exited that day when they dropped the charges on Pete. So they finally let her come back in when they found out, after Pete found out and leaned over and told her. They let her come back in. But it's just the whole concept of the way this is going down. They're pulling out everything they can, the rug out everywhere they can out from underneath these guys, to make them feel down and out, to take away their self-esteem, take away who they are.
They're not getting the rights of a prisoner that's a serial killer, for God's sake. Tell me that's not evil overpowering the good. No. Loretta Lynch went down there on a Wednesday. The following Monday, they had all these bogus charges put on them. And no. And see, they're being sued by the United States government. Not just that state, but the United States government. And no. People need to call. People need to let our voices be heard in other ways, guys. You don't have to go march up there, because I know some of you can't make it there. But you can at least make this call and give your opinion respectfully and let them hear our voices. The more calls, they're going to start wondering, okay, people are starting to watch us now. We're getting the attention, and we're going to have to watch our P's and Q's, or we could have an issue here. That's why we do these calls. I'm going to do mine.
Lynx, has there been any change in the atmosphere where you're at since the news of Pete went out?
Not that I could tell, really. It's not really well known around here because most of the people around here, sorry to say, are government employees.
Yeah.
So they only know what the upper-ups want them to know.
I forgot, that's right.
65%
That's why you only had a few people
more are government employees here. And even if they're not government employees, it's people who are reliant on the money that the government brings in, because the small businesses and stuff, there's not enough work or anything around here to cut off government employees, so they kind of got to bend over and take it, kind of thing.
And by just for people out there, by government employees, what type of government employees? Tell them who they work for.
BLM, Forest Service, and here's the thing: it's the corporation employees. I'm gonna flat out say this, as I've always said it. Back in 1933, somewhere around there, in 1930s, the government that our founding fathers had set up for us was completely disbanded, and then the United States Incorporated came into play. What is governing us right now is a corporation based out of Puerto Rico.
Yes,
you're not voting for
Incorporated.
Yeah, you're not voting for a president. Your vote really doesn't matter, because you are not a stockholder or a shareholder. What's happening is the next one between Trump or Hillary is the next CEO of United States Incorporated. So that's the thing, guys. Your vote doesn't matter. Period. It's each time when you said when you registered to vote, you basically stated that you were incompetent and unable to make decisions for yourself, that you were a willing servant to the corporation. I mean, the stuff you learn whenever you keep your mind open and you realize how corrupt everything is around you, it will scare the crap out of you. So yeah, that's why I'm saying flat out, I've got a few places out in the woods that when the time comes, I'm grabbing my bug out bags, I'm heading to the woods, Nobody's going to see me again unless they come to me.
Hey, Lynx, have they started mining for uranium up there yet?
No, that's all Russia's.
Well, has Russia come in and started getting their uranium?
Through Canada, they will start doing that soon or enough.
When Hillary gets selected, not elected, but selected, when
Yeah.
the circus is completely done and they've got who they want up there, and the martial law kicks in, because look at it this way, guys. Whether or not Trump gets in or Hillary gets in, either way, there's going to be riots. Therefore, I mean, think about how publicized this has gotten. How two different camps are like going berserk, and even the protests and the campaign speeches. How many riots are happening there already? I mean, seriously, it's being fed and amped up, and it's about ready to blow. As soon as Hillary gets in, the Trump supporters are going to kick in. As soon as Hillary loses, then the Hillary supporters are going to kick in. Either way, riots are going to happen. People are going to start causing major problems, and then Obama is going to say, "Hey, you know, I know you're elected in, but you know what? We got a big bad situation here. I'm going to use my presidential authority, call martial law. Once things are calmed down, we'll transfer power." Thing is, it'll never calm down.
Well,
So-
here's the thing, guys. You know, you're probably right, and let me explain this, because this is my show here. But let me say something. Lynx is probably right, because once they do this, they will not step. They won't go back from it. So once the executive powers that he's already put into law, okay, through his executive orders, he's already done that. So it's all there. So now he can move forward with it, and because he already put the executive orders, like I said, into place, where they can take our stuff, he can come into my home, take all my stuff without no constitutional right. I have no constitutional rights at that point. Okay, he can take everything I own, all my food, my vehicle, everything I have. It's all written down. It's all according to him law. So he can just come and take. They can just come and do all this stuff to us. Sorry, guys, you're not coming and taking all that from me. So you better figure out something else, because America isn't going to allow the average citizen like me is not going to allow this to happen. Now, they may want to do that, and they may want to try to project that on people, but let me tell you guys, it's not going to happen. They're not, Lynx. They're not going to come and get my stuff and everybody else's stuff without having a problem. Okay? They're going to have a problem if they start doing it.
Come look at it from my point of view, okay? I have stated on multiple different shows about the United States corporation and how Trump or Hillary doesn't matter.
I get that, right?
People in the chat room are like, wow, he's right. I never thought of it that way before. And then I see him on Facebook about 2 hours later, maybe a full day later, all of a sudden starting to post Trump this, Trump that. I mean, I'm like, okay, I showed you guys truth, and you guys went right back to the sheeple attitude.
Right.
The American people are so dumbed down and so, I'm just going to have to say it, retarded, that they are not going to make a stand until it's too late. If they make a stand, it's going to be a group of 5 or 6 because everybody else has given up. Because their football is gone, their NASCAR is gone, their jobs are gone. I mean, all that, what they have for comfort is gone, and they will just gladly walk right into the FEMA camps, because oh, we've got a Super Bowl happening right now. Only way you can see it is on the screens in this compound here. Come on in, and they'll actually go.
Well, that's what's going to happen, and that's probably true to every extent you're saying. The thing is, and I agree with that totally. People are ignorant, and they're chasing a Pokemon, and they're going to chase it right into the stadium, dude. And they're going to be chasing a Pokemon into a stadium where they will be confined. That's going to happen. But we don't all think that way. So I'm thinking totally different. Like, hey, I'm going to do my own thing. F you people. I'm not going to no damn FEMA camp. I'm not going to no stadium. They're not going to take my family in there. But they're going to use the children to try to get us there. They're going to take them out of schools, and they're going to take them to those locations. And then you're going to have to, if you're a parent, you're going to have to go there to get your children, which they're going to put you right in there too. So it's kind of a bigger thing than people think. Okay.
Well, I think you guys are both basically. I agree right along with both of you. We are a corporation. We have lost our rights. We never really have had our rights. And I envy Links in a way that anyone with a child that's under the age of school can pre-plan ahead for like homeschooling, or or they're already awake so that they're passing on that education and knowledge to their children, where I, however, didn't get a chance to, and mine are now 21 and 25 and asleep, so I envy him on that. He can homeschool, so he don't have to worry about something like that.
Lynx has all that in front of him. He can do it the right way
I
if he
think
wants
we
to.
all kind of agree with that, as far as like it's gonna go down, it's gonna come. But what matters is if you change one mind, even if it's once a month, if you change anybody, to me that's saving somebody. That's waking them up, and who knows if they might. And I know I don't really like to call them ignorant, because we were once all asleep too, and
Sure.
we didn't think we were quite intelligent beings. It's just hard to knock someone awake the first time for several different reasons, whether they are under the influence of the mind control, or whether they are in denial because of fear, or whatever reason it is. They're too old, they don't care anymore to wake up, or they're too young and liberal that they're not
We were caught in the middle, right?
right.
I see what you're saying.
So I think, as far as the panel go, everyone's in agreement that it's going to happen. They're going to use our children against us, the ones in our family that do believe, or they're going to set up the traps, like Link says. You're going to walk into a football game. It's going to be the only football game you can see, and you're trapped. It could be anything from a grocery store to, or come get a few portions of food here for free, and then instantly you're caught.
Well, that's exactly what it is. That, hey, come in here. We're going to give you something, and you don't have to pay for it, but we're going to give you something free. And so that's where the FEMA camps come in, because when they do that, there are all the flooding in Florida, Louisiana, and everywhere else. It's going on. These people are suffering. They have people going in there, in when this happened, that were people like me that would just go get in their boat and try to save somebody. But now you can't do that according to their new laws. You can't go save somebody, because you have to be government orientated. You have to have government's permission to go in there and save people. That's the kind of shit we're talking about.
The Anti-Good Samaritan Act, basically, now.
basically you can't save somebody. You know, they're saying no, you can't go in there. It has to be a government official that can go, that has to go in there. Well, when Louisiana, it was called the Louisiana Navy. Everybody in the community was calling it that. Well, that's what it was. It was the average person just going out and helping people. Well, now you can't do that, according to them. You have to have permission by the state, by the government to help people. That's the kind of crap we're going through now. So really, we're in deep trouble, and people do not realize how much trouble we're in and where we're heading. And I think some people do understand it. I know Lynx and Becky and you guys understand that we are heading into turmoil that we need to get ourselves ready for, because we otherwise we're done. They're going to put us in they're going to put us in the camps, and they're going to put us in the work brigades where we're working as slaves. We're slaves. We already are slaves.
And
We
once
have
they
to break
figure out,
away from them.
once they try and figure out how they're going to convince people that everything they're doing is for the greater good, they can pretty
Right.
much claim, you know, eminent domain and walk into your house and move you out of your house and say what we're doing is for the greater good. I mean, that's written right in the laws. It's kind of what's happening in Iowa right now, trying to claim eminent domain over the land, even though their houses are on it. You know what I mean?
See, you just said something that was amazing. Okay, you just said it to me, and that was amazing because it is about It's about technocracy. I'm sorry. It's about technocracy. It's about transhumanism. It's about these people think that they run the world, and they think that they can tell you what to do because of their science. Well, that's the biggest problem that we have right now, because they're saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. You have to follow our word, our science, our hard facts." They don't have hard facts because it's just a hypothesis most of the time, and it's not really the true facts, and it's not really hard facts. So what we're doing here is we're allowing them to bring in the technocracy. We're allowing them to bring in transhumanism. That's where they're moving forward with. And when we really look at this, okay, which I have done for a long time, for years, that's nothing new to me. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been awake for a long time. And I've been paying attention to what's going on. Now, today's world is the technocrats, okay? They've been around since the 30s. They've been around for over 100 years. But even before that, actually. The technocrats, the technocratic type of people want to tell you that, look, science says this. And so you have to obey them because they say that this is science fact. And so you have to listen to what they're saying no matter whether you like it or not. Now, that's a technocrats, and that is the people who are really behind a lot of the movements we're dealing with now. And transhumanism is
Wait a minute.
right here too.
Can you explain again what technocrats is?
Okay, I'll explain. A technocrat is a scientist that believes in all their analysis of technology. In other words, okay.
Oh, okay, I got you. I already got you. Yeah.
So we're looking at technology, that base technology they have,
Techno.
that they believe is exactly the word, and no one else has any other say. Okay, in other words, they're right, we're wrong. There's no way we could ever have any clue other than what they say. So technocrats want to control humanity. They want to put everything on us where we have to listen to exactly what they say because they say science is exactly what it is. Right.
That
You
goes
have to
into the
listen.
transhumanism and affecting your belief system and everything else.
Right. And so, well, transhumanism is where they're headed with their technology. The technocrats are pushing transhumanism.
Right. That's what I
So,
wanted to kind of make sure we
okay, so we have that straight, right? So that's what
connected.
they're
Yeah.
pushing. And they want to merge with machines and have all the tech in your body. They want to mark you with the beast. They want to have all the technology strewn with your brain. They want to put chips in your brain. They want to do all this stuff to us as humanity, which is killing us. I mean, see they see it. We are cattle to them. Again, we are cattle to them.
The
We
one
are
thing we
like,
don't know, Tom, will be, in my opinion, because we know it's written, we just don't really know, like, what happens as far as, like, is it the complete end? Will some of us make it? You know, will they
yes, we will.
themselves make
We
it?
will. We will.
I kind of
The
think it's all
people.
going to implode.
Well, the people. It says the and see this is what they're following, which is insane because it doesn't seem real. Like right, like really, are they following this? But
No, I
somehow,
know they're going to do it, but what I'm saying is I think it's kind of like trying to cage an animal that you can't cage. It's too wild and out of control. It's going to
well,
come
they're gonna
imploding out
kill.
on it.
Listen, Becky, they're gonna kill almost everybody. And really, what's gonna happen is just like it says in the Bible, and biblically, there will only be 144,000 left. And I should look it up and read it to you
I
guys.
was going to say that's actually something I didn't know, so.
No, it really is. And if I look it up, I can read it to you. What it says about the 144,000, which are the elect, which it says everybody else will be killed. Okay, and it says that clear as day. If you read what it says, you have any kind of reading comprehension, you can understand that.
We just don't know how long it's going to take at this point to get to that point.
Right. We
We
don't
already
know
know
where
it's
we're
coming
at,
over. We
and
already know we're a corporation. We already know our borders are open. We
we
already
know
see
that
the poisoning of food.
Obama sat on the head of the UN, which no other president in the United States has ever done. Okay, this is biblical stuff. And when if okay, because I don't know, if he takes over and becomes the leader of the UN or on the board, the head of the board of the UN, then we know where we are because then that's more biblical because that's what it talks about. It's about the New World Order. The Bible explains all of it to
So
everybody
what
if
I'm
they want.
understanding from you is that I'm just trying to clarify for anyone that listens too, that I think kind of where you and Lynx are different than is you both kind of believe in how the world is and what it's coming to.
Right.
But it's the biblical part where you guys differ at,
Well, yes,
as
but
far
only
as,
because, and that's
which is
true,
fine.
which is okay. I don't care about that.
I mean, you're
I
coming
love
to
my
the
brother
same
Links.
outcome. It's
If
whether you want to have the faith or not, is
right,
what I'm trying to say. But you and Lynx pretty much agree on everything. Am I correct to say that, Lynx,
yes,
or not?
yes, I would say so. Ask Links.
Yeah, actually, we do agree that this is pretty much. I am spiritual, not religious. I do not begrudge anybody their. Sorry, our kitten decided it's going to go in a sneezy fit. It's quite entertaining, actually. But no, it's I don't begrudge anybody their faith or their style of belief. as long as they don't try to push me into it, because as an American, as one that believes in our constitutional rights, our unalienable rights, freedom of religion is about being able to have what you believe what you believe, and practice what you believe, but you do not have a right to force others to follow that same belief system. But
I agree with
as
you, Lance.
Tom and I have talked it over multiple times, multiple different ways, and we both agree. Whether it's biblical or whether it's something I've been seeing from my what I call visions, dreams, whatever. Um, it's basically we're within, I would say, at most 5 years of the fit hitting the shan. It's that simple. I'm thinking this election or selection. I'm
When it's
thinking
going to kind of start to show in the
right,
public eye.
right, and yeah, I don't. I know Americans have potential to be smart, but I don't know how many times I told people, okay, like let's say William Fisher. I love the guy. He's awesome. He's passionate. I told him about HEK 293, how HEK is human embryonic kidney cells. HEK 293.
Right.
Basically, it's a aborted male fetus at the age of 14 weeks. Has to be at that time because that's when the kidney cell is primed, and that is the flavor enhancer
Yep.
that a lot of big companies use, and it has been
Pepsi.
proven that Pepsi does it
Yep.
or is
Pepsi
using it.
Cola. It's the company
Yeah,
that isn't
is
Pepsi
using
Cola.
it
Use
to pay to make a flavor enhancer. But if you see flavor enhancer in any product, it's a good possibility that HEK 293, Soylent Green in other words, is in it to enhance the flavor. And Pepsi is one that does do it. William Fisher loves Pepsi. In fact, each time I see him with Pepsi, I'm like, HEK 293 is like, yeah, and then, well, of course, censor out, bleep you. I'm still going to drink this. Americans have
I
got
do the same thing, Links, with Diet Mountain Dew, and I know how
right, but it's the
aspartame in it.
comfort. It's
It's
the
rat
comfort.
poisoning,
Yeah, it's the
and it's an
comfort.
addiction that they want you to have.
Sure.
Exactly, and that's the same with football. That's the same with internet. That's the same
You
with
know
your
what? You know what?
soap
You
opera.
know. Let me
All
interrupt her. Let me interrupt for a second. You know
okay.
what's funny is that Lynx actually gathered that, and one of my people I work with, I tried to warn them of that. A Pepsi drinker, avid Pepsi drinker, and I said, hey, check this out, man. There's some shit going on with your drinks here, and I actually he didn't believe me at all. But you know what I did? I took him to the computer. I said here, and I put all of it there for him to read, all of it. Guess what? He still drinks Pepsi. So you can lead a horse to water, but he ain't gonna drink it.
But
You
you
That's
know.
the
can
same
So
thing
drown
as waking
stuff,
people
I
up, in
think.
my opinion. Now I'm awake, and I clearly know what this does to my body.
sure.
Yet I put up this kind of denial wall in my mind and block that thought because I want it.
That's
That's
what
what happens to
those
most
that are
people.
addicted to heroin and cocaine and all the other drugs, that's what they do. They know that it's eating away their brains, it's killing them, but they're addicted to it. That's
Fast food is the same way.
I stopped soda. I mean, I was an extra yesterday for a film that's being made, Lean on Pete. It's based off of a popular book about a kid who uh, makes friends with a racing horse. A 15-year-old kid makes friends with a racing horse that's named Lean on Pete. Um, but basically, I they had drinks there, and I grabbed a Coke. Now, Coke, as far as I've been able to tell, doesn't have HEK 293, but a lot of the other stuff that's in it, I know is not good. I
Yeah,
grabbed a Coke
aspartame.
with my lunch. It was sitting there. By the time I finished my lunch, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go have some more lemonade, and I'm putting this Coke right back. I can't. After I found that out, like with teas, Lipton, and
Brisk, yeah, the ones that you buy in the store. Yeah.
have a lot of pesticides still in the tea that are.
You know why? Because they have to treat the tea that's growing. They pump a bunch of pesticides and actually chemtrail them, okay,
Yeah.
if you will, to produce or to keep bugs off of them. They treat them with all these horrible chemicals,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's not, it, you know,
3 to 15 times higher than
yeah,
what is safely allowed. And these companies are doing it because they can get away with it. They just got to grease the wheels with the right amount of money in the right pockets, and they
sure,
get
sure.
away with it. So I stopped. The only tea I drink now is called Red Rose, and it has proven to be the safest. Even these organics teas that a lot of people say, oh, it's organic, it's fine. No, there's still pesticides in them.
Sure.
I mean, you can slap organic on anything and say it's fine, but it doesn't mean it really is.
That's,
So, I mean,
that's
Our meat is no longer labeled at all. I mean, what is it like? How many countries won't even eat our meat?
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
What was it? Ethiopia will not accept any food that came from America because it is that poisonous. They are starving and they're still not willing to accept any food from us.
Right.
What does that
Just
tell
flip
you?
over your ground chuck that they say is ground chuck, and look at how brown it is on the underside compared to the upper side, and then the
Yeah.
pool of dye or whatever they put over it with, just to make it look more fresh for you.
And
Here's the thing: us people, like Lynx and Becky and Clovis and everybody else here, hopefully realizes this, because there's no turning back from this. We have to, if we don't realize this now as American citizens, we are done, man. We are done. We are over. It's over.
well,
We have to do something now soon before it's all over. We have to live, okay, like Lynx would say, which I would say too. We have to learn to live off the land.
We do, and right now, every one of us on this panel really need to take to heart even what we're talking about. Like myself, I need to wean myself off Diet Mountain Dew. I need to drop
Absolutely.
that wall down, and we need to start making sure we put lots of good things in our body, and know that the grocery store is no longer a safe place for us.
It's not. It's not.
Tom, hold on.
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
The meat, what my wife and I have done is we have a local butcher around here. Local butcher. They cut the meat, they slaughter the cows, everything themselves from local meat around here. And so we know that the meat is acceptable. Find local butchers around your area that are have a good reputation. They may be a little bit higher price, or it could be a much higher price. But the thing is, you'll be sure to be getting meat that is good, and you will be amazed at how good the taste is. The difference between supermarket meat and butcher meat, or local butcher meat, is like a full 180. But you have hamburgers made from the store, from a supermarket. It's like, okay, this is good. Next time I'm going to put some more salt and pepper or whatever spices to spice up the flavor. Then you go get it from a local butcher, and it's like, I only need a little bit of spices to enhance flavor because it's the flavorful enough.
Right.
That's what you got to do, guys.
No matter where you're at, you can look up local farmers in your area, and you can actually see how the cattle are being fed and buy them when they're ready to be butchered. And that's
the
what
way
I
to go,
currently
guys.
do.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
That's what I currently do, and
I do the same thing, and I have a butcher that is up in north, a little farther north of me. It's maybe 20 miles or something. I have to drive, but to get up there, it's a little bitty market. Okay, they're small, but yet that little bitty market gets all their stuff from local farmers who are not filling them full of stuff. They're just local farmers around Citrus County. Well, I live in a rural area, so those are the ones where I go. I go up there, I stock up on my meat, and I, put it in my freezer, and I'm good. I go there once a month, and I'm good. Because the prices are really good. It's local, non-pumped up shit, and not full of hormones and everything. So those are the places to go. So we have to think about taking care of our locals on a local level. That's what I want to do. A local farmer,
Clovis
I'm going to support them.
Clovis is zonking out on us, so everybody say goodbye to Clovis.
Clovis, where are you?
I'm here. I'm gonna have to crash, man. I gotta get some sleep. I get up early in the morning with the girls, and I'm tired.
I have to go back to sleep too because it's almost 2 here. So
Yeah, and
you
it's
guys
going
want to
on.
give your comments on what your thoughts on this are?
Well, I think everybody's on the right path, and they have to start thinking about how they're going to take care of themselves once, everything goes crazy. One of the suggestions I'm going to give is to look at things like our natural resources, like chaga tea that comes from the birch tree. It's CHAGA. It's got a lot of beneficial stuff in it. It's from the birch tree. There's chaga mushrooms or the birch, the bark underneath that layer, and that's what I have. I replaced my old tea with that. And, CHAGA. So stuff like that. Look at your weeds that plants that are edible, that you can plant in your garden. Start looking at gardens in your backyard, fruit gardens instead of a flower bed. Stuff like that, and those things can be shared with your neighbors, right? So.
Yeah, we need to get back to that. We need to get back to taking care of ourselves, guys.
Yeah.
We've lost, and there's our whole time here is being lost, and my grandfather and my grandparents beyond that, and they actually brought a lot to this country. A lot. I go back and looking into my ancestry, how to say it, ancestry, whatever. Those people, they went through hell. They went through a lot to get to where they are now, and we have gone through incredible stuff as human beings to actually survive. And so those people, that's what's lost. Is what we're losing is like maybe what Lynch would say, because of the Indian influence, we are losing those things that people, if things go wrong, they're going to die. They're dead. They're done. They're not going to survive. We have to get back to being able to survive where we understand the land, plants, the animals. We have to get back to nature. And so we really have to. Otherwise, we're done. I mean, most people are going to be, that's what's going to happen. 90%. It's already happened before. It's not something new. So this isn't something new that I'm saying. It's something that's already happened. Does anybody have any thoughts on it? Because This has already happened before. It's already been proven to happen. Read the letters. Read and understand what's already happened. Not out of my mouth, but out of theirs. And it's already happened before. And so we're looking at something happening again like that. And we need to get ready for it. And so me, you, they, everybody, Becky, Lois, everybody can be prepared for what's coming, because you're going to have to live off the land. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store.
I have a little bit of a different take. And probably it's because I'm quite a bit older than most of you. And so I've been sitting here,
Okay.
you know, really listening to you, because you still got a lot of years. Where I don't know how many more years I have, but it's not a whole lot. So, but because I've lived so long, and I've been politically awake since probably since when JFK was assassinated. He served as 9/11, woke up a lot of people. And of course, I was a college student at the time and ended up going into the service. So I wasn't active in terms of groups, but I was aware. And at one point, I was even asked to join the Council of Foreign Relations in reference to my work. And it was the first time that I think I was, in my mind, put to the test between you know, political career success and Jesus. And I turned him down, which it didn't seem so at the time, but looking back, I go, yeah, things kind of cooled down career-wise for me, because they really do take you under wing and pull you along. And so it's easy enough for me to understand why the report that Clovis covered this morning can happen. That the top levels of government across the board are so corrupt. Because what happens to each individual, it's, you know, it's a Satan's game plan, I guess. But I guess what I'm really leading up to saying why I jumped in is that there have been several times in the course of my life that this one world bunch were quite concerned or quite convinced that that was the time and we were going to go in that direction. But the one thing that they've admitted to, and is true, the only thing they're afraid of are the masses. And each time, what turned them back to quiet, we'll just go along, was that too many people woke up and too many people were talking. And that scares the willies out of them. It's like situation in Oregon. They really wanted to jump in there and shut that down real fast, because they've had their man in office now for almost 8 years and they've never been so close. And the old men, the George Soroses and etc., they want this new world order before natural life ends for them. And they are convinced that they get the new world order in and they satisfy Satan, they're going to be perpetuated into a permanent life, and which I think is really crazy thinking, but you know, people are entitled to their own thinking and beliefs. But if that, so that's what they think. In the last picture I saw George Soros, he looks so old and ugly. Why in the world? But I guess I think they got the story wrong. You know, with Jesus, if we're still around when he comes, we're supposed to be transformed into new bodies, da 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 da. So I think they got it messed up and think it's Satan that said that, and it's really Jesus that said that.
Yeah,
But
it's the opposite.
but
Well,
the thing is,
let me explain.
go ahead.
Let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to you. It is the opposite because everything they say is evil, they say is good. Everything that is evil or good, they say is evil. Okay, so it's the exact opposite of what they say. And that's what's been going on. If they say this is a wonderful thing, oh my Lord, the humanity, you know, that's the wrong thing because they're actually saying the opposite. Just like they've done with everything else, the Patriot Act, all the executive orders, all the things that have been going on in our world right now. We all know that's what's happening. Okay, you can't deny those things that are happening. So if you do, okay, all the executive orders, all the PPP, CPIP, the NDAA, everything, all right, the Patriot Act, which is they just continued to move down the line and even made it worse. They made it worse than it was before. So all they're doing is they're moving forward in their evil, and they're going to continue to do these things, which is going to take away our rights, our freedoms. All of our freedoms are going to be taken away by their actions because they somehow illegally against the Constitution, our original Constitution. Okay, you understand it? They've taken that away. They are destroying humanity. They're destroying America. We do not have what we had before. And until, unfortunately, people stand and say, hey, what about my constitutional rights? What about us? What about me? What about my family? What about my future? What about, all this stuff? And they stand up and say, hey, I've had enough of your bullshit. This is my country. This is my land. This is our land. The Native Americans that are being totally abused right now as well. Stand with them. Will you stand? Are you going to be, no, I'm not going to stand with them. They're just Native Americans. I don't care about them. They're just, see, that's the stuff that happens that allows them to continue with their garbage. I will stand with any one of those Americans because they're Americans. This is our land, not theirs. It's a Native American land before it was ours, before it was ever any of that land. So, for one, those people that are out there standing that don't want the pipeline put through there and they don't want their lands messed with, it's their lands. If they say no, let it be no. That's their land. Okay? It's not my job to put a pipeline through the damn lands when they say, hey, look, guys, this is my land.
Tom, what'd she say? So, I mean, what did Diane say that was so different? I think
we're on the same page. But what I'm trying to get at is, we can't allow this stuff to happen, and they're allowing it. People are backing down and being submissive to the land grabs.
And what was Diane, what were you saying?
I don't know what she was
I had to unmute. And I'm slow at unmuting. No, we're basically saying the same thing. But you guys continually talk about getting, being prepared, but basically to live in the wilderness. And I wanted to say to Lynx about 2 months ago, Obama came out with one of his executive orders, and he's made it illegal for anybody to live in the wilderness, wherever the wilderness can be found, because they want everybody to come into the cities where they can control them. So, so now that it's illegal, I guess that means that if they came upon you, they could just shoot you and say that they were doing the legal thing, you know.
Can I explain that to you real quick? Let me explain this to everybody real fast. It's a part of the June 21, which they are pushing in the whole society. If you live in Colorado, if you live in California, you understand that they are pushing June 21 on everybody.
I think she understands all that. What she's talking about is like the bugging out part and stuff. I think that she's talking about, Tom.
Okay, well, it's really hard.
I know that's true. Like, a lot of people will just either have to, will have to make a stance at their homes too, or communities. And so I don't know. Do you not think it will go that far, Diane?
Well, what I'm thinking, and just based on my lifetime observation and so forth with these people, is if we become a loud enough voice, they back down. And I'm not altogether convinced. Like, an awful lot of people now think this is biblical. And a lot of people have been taught through their churches that once we get into the tribulation, there's no stopping it, da-da-da-da. Well, I don't see it that way. Because God says, if you'll bow down, get down on your knees, confess your sins, and return to me, I will heal your land. And that's an open-ended promise on his part, good at any time. So I'm seeing an awful lot of people waking up and returning to Christ, which is what he wants, which is good. And with a big voice, this whole thing can be turned around. And at the same time, I think that they're playing the Bible as a script. They're trying to make it appear that this really is the biblical end times.
As a tactic.
As a tactic to, because they spent, when back in the 60s, already knew they had gotten into the seminaries and they changed basic Christian principles and doctrine and so forth. So if you call yourself a Christian, then I say to you, well, where did you get your Christianity from? It's not enough for you to say, oh yeah, I believe in Jesus, without knowing what did Jesus tell you. And a lot of people don't know what Jesus told them. The church told them what Jesus told them. Say it again, Becky.
I think you're the first person that's brought that view to my eyes. That's interesting.
Oh, well.
I mean, you have a right to your opinion. That's an interesting thought. That's the first time I've actually.
Well, otherwise we're talking ourselves into a very negative thing. There's no way out. We've got to be packed and ready to bug out and start humanity all over again. And I don't see that that's necessarily what's coming at us. Even though it appears right now, I mean, I have to admit, this is the closest they've ever come. But at the same time, you go, look at their example, Hillary Clinton. Look at Hillary Clinton. Now, she's the one that's supposed to take over and run America while Obama goes up and runs the UN and she surrenders our sovereignty to the UN. Well, she's got to get herself elected. Trump has got thousands and thousands of people coming to his rallies every single day. The numbers are getting bigger and bigger. Well, she can hardly get 500 to come to anything that she's doing. In the meanwhile, at the same time, she's obviously got some physical problems.
Right.
So between her physical and her lying.
Let me explain this to you really fast, okay, and real quick. Biblically, okay, we're looking at Hillary and Trump being the whoever, okay? That doesn't matter because that's all bull crap anyway. So we really need to realize that doesn't matter. Hillary Clinton and them, They're all the same. Okay, they've been all the same.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, Tom.
No.
I mean,
Yep,
you
you
go
know
back.
what?
You go back to your Bible and
Oh, wait a minute.
look at Paul.
Let me hold on. This is
Who
my
was
show.
Saul?
Let me
Who killed
Let me
people?
tell you something. This is my show, and I will tell you something really clear. Okay, doesn't matter about what Trump thinks he can do because they're going to stop him from doing it. He's not going
Maybe
to
not with the thousands of people behind him.
I don't care about
Hey
that.
guys, listen
You know
for
what
a
that's going to
second.
do?
Listen for a second. I know this is your show, Tom. I respect that. Thank you. Could I just say something
Sure,
for
you can say
Tom?
whatever you want. Okay, say
Thank
what
you.
you want.
I appreciate it. On a panel, I know it's your show. It's just she's telling her opinion.
I don't care.
I know that if we don't agree on it, that's fine. But we can do it.
Yes, this isn't the Tom. I'm not trying to say you're
Hold on.
right or you're wrong or I'm right or I'm wrong.
It doesn't matter whether we're right or wrong or any crap like that. Okay, let's stop. Let's not do that. Okay.
Well, that's
Here's
what
the
I'm
deal.
trying to avoid here. All I'm
We're
saying
not doing that. I'm not doing that.
isn't
I
this
don't
not
want.
necessarily the end?
No, but what I'm trying to say, if you would listen to me for a second, okay?
I've been listening to you all night.
Please,
We've been how many hours into this? It's 11:11.
Just please listen to me for a second.
You
okay?
have the floor.
Don't
It's your
take
show.
this too far. Well, whatever. I don't care. I'm all open to anybody. Okay. I'm not my show. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Okay, guys,
really care about
I'm gonna go ahead and drop out on that note because I don't want to be involved in.
No, I don't really care about that, guys. Come on, please. It's not about that. It's about us people. I want people to be all hating each other, and that's over some stuff. That's what's happening here, and that's not cool. And I don't like that. And so, basically, the truth really is that I hate to say this, and I don't want to have anybody be mad at anybody. That's my point. I don't want to fight with nobody. I do not. That's my point. I do not want to fight with anybody. Please, don't let me get to fight with anybody. I don't care about that stuff. Everybody wants to fight with people. That's stupid. Right? I have no reason to do that. My point has always been not to fight with people. Everybody wants to argue, and it's horrible, and it pisses me off. It makes me mad that people want to fight over stuff like this, and I don't want to fight over this. I want us to come together. So, to be honest and truthful, I'm sick of people wanting to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight over Trump, Hillary. Everyone wants to fight over stuff. I'm sorry, guys, but that's a waste of damn time. Okay.
Hey guys, before I drop out here, I just wanted to mention what you were talking about, Diane, about I think you're on the right track there. And what I wanted to bring up was the fact that humanity is basically destroying what was created for us. And if God wanted the earth to, if he's saying that the earth is going to be healed, I think we should take heed to that and listen to what he's saying and get back to preserving what was created for us. And getting away from our use of things that are toxic in our environment. And I think once we take personal responsibility in ourselves to do that, then it will come together. I mean, everybody comes to it in their own time, right? And I think you're on the right track there with the whole healing aspect of it.
So that's what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to move towards healing aspects. We're not trying to diss anybody at all. I'm not going to. So I will never put anybody down. I will never be bad, say something about someone that I shouldn't say or anything like that. And I just want to be, I want us to all be actually real. But people aren't real because they're living in some fantasy land, yes, and they can't figure out what's going on. And so that's a part of reality that I want people to understand. They're not living through it, not seeing it, and we are facing it right now. Everybody, all our children are facing this stuff, but they want to everyone wants to act like it's no big deal.
Hey, Tom, I popped back in. Sorry about that. I just wanted to regroup for a minute. I didn't want it to go south.
Oh, I know. It's all good.
Because everyone's has, their thoughts, and like I say, you can only try so much you want to say what you think, but other people, have a right to say what they think if on a panel. So I just wanted to drop in and tell you I respected you having me on here tonight, because you're a good brother. I appreciate you. And Diane, love you much, girl. You do a lot of hard work for Clovis. I know, what kind of lifestyle you've been in, so I can definitely see your point of view too. And it's okay that we disagree, as far as that goes, or.
Well, it doesn't matter whether we disagree or whatever. That's all good, man. We're people. We're human beings.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We're gonna disagree on certain things, but that's
Everyone has the right to think what they want to think, and to be positive like that's maybe not such a bad thing,
See, it's all good. I have no problem with anyone.
Like, I too have hope. Although I feel it's written, I'm going to have hope that there's some way, somehow, that enough people can get awake that we can overcome what's written down,
Right.
That's just hope, and that's what I have at time too,
I think that if you can overcome it, you'll be someone who is chosen, because you'll be the elect then, because you are chosen to be one of the ones that are saved. See,
right?
Everybody else doesn't get that, I guess.
No, but I see her point of view on her thinking like as a propaganda move.
Right.
She's just like same way with us using her life experiences to dig down rabbit holes, and coming up with her opinion on and what she thinks, and that's what she's found out in her life experience. Same way with religion. If someone doesn't believe, your religion, that's fine to have a different way of thinking about it.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I'd just like to say this. God created all of us, right?
Yes, He did.
So we are His creation, and I don't want to be a failed creation.
Amen, Diane.
I don't want to let God down. I want to live to the fullest potential that He has in store for me and everyone. If we just walk consistent with His teaching. In the beginning, when there was Adam and Eve, there were no rules. There was Adam and Eve, but after a while, He decided He had to give them rules because they weren't doing what He wanted them to do in the sense of right and wrong. So He created the right and the wrong and gave us the 10 Commandments, right?
Right. Yeah. Give Him free will.
And ultimately, that collapsed, and He had to send Himself in the way of flesh through Jesus, who came and said, "I didn't come to change those 10 Commandments, but to add 2, which really encompasses those 2. If you look at them, they really encompass the first 5 of the 10 Commandments and the second 5 of the 10 Commandments. Our relationship with God, and then our relationship with each other. If we love one another, we're not going to steal, we're not going to lie, we're not going to commit adultery, we're not going to covet, da 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 da. See? So, and that's worked out pretty good for 2,000 years. But now we're really off track in this country that started out on those principles, because the devil gets in and he's having fits because he doesn't want us following God. He doesn't want us obeying God. So really all that I'm saying right now is, if enough of us do as he said and take him at his word, return to him, straighten ourselves up so we're adhering to the 10 commandments and the 2 commandments, then there's a good chance that all of this, there'll be a turn, goodness will triumph over evil for another period of time, and we'll continue on down the road until it gets bad again. And all I'm saying, there's been a couple of times in my lifetime where it looked like bad was going to win and the good was going to lose. And we're right there. This is the worst it's ever been. And I have to admit, it doesn't really look that great because they've got so much in their favor. They control the media. They control so many things that the few of us, maybe we can't make a loud enough noise. But if we can, then God will turn it around and he'll heal our land. But right now, but at the same time, the United States, it really isn't even in the Bible. Now people are saying, oh, it's the great Babylon. It's the mystery Babylon. Well, maybe it is. But at any time God decides he's had enough, all he has to do is let loose the San Andreas, the Yellowstone, the New Madrid, the fault in the East Coast, and the whole country is gone. And then it's all left to whatever Europe and Asia and all that bunch do. And we're out of the picture because if any of us
disagreeing basically on the timeline period, like you're basically saying, don't everyone rush and say this is the end of times right now.
That's exactly right. And to think that it is puts you in a negative position. You say, well, I just accept it. This is the end, whenever, where I don't think we're meant to live that way. We're supposed to live a hopeful, joyful. He tells us to make a joyful sound, which we've interpreted to be music, right?
Back at the Dust Bowl and things like that, I know we thought it was back then. There's I agree with not putting a date on it. I do agree with that.
Well, and Jesus himself says, no man will know the hour. So, and you have to think God has existed forever. I'm only here 73 years. That's nothing compared to how long God has been.
Not even a pinch of salt.
It's not even a grain of sand or salt, as you say. It's nothing. So he would like nothing better than for us to return to him and live happy lives, raising up our children, teaching them right from wrong, than to have to come back. And Jesus says, his big question was, will there be anybody left that believes in me?
How many times although I've never thought that way, you are waking up a few things in me, a different perspective as far as viewing how many times people have thought this is what's written and it's the end and it's the plagues are here and so on and so forth, and the seas turned red and so on and so forth, and it could get very bad, turn around, and we have another century left to go. Is what you're saying. We don't know quite yet that this is exactly what it's written. It hasn't got to that point in the Bible where we can say, okay, we're in the end of times.
No, we really can't. We can say it looks like it, but if you sit down and you really study Bible prophecy, I was talking to a Jewish guy who had become a Christian, and he had it all written down. Of course, I never sat down to confirm, but he said there's something like 653 prophecies, most of which come out of the Old Testament that have yet to be fulfilled by the New Testament. And all of those things have to happen for God to return, or Jesus to return. And this probably goes back 20 years ago, because they were happening. They were beginning to happen which was making him and his fellow, what do they call themselves, Messianic Jews?
Messianic, yep.
Yeah. Well, they were beginning to get concerned because these things were, and they were, they were checking the newspapers every day to look for if there's anything else. The big thing is the temple. Everybody agrees that the third temple has to be built before Jesus comes, and we don't have a third temple. And now they're fighting over there because now there's archaeologists that are saying, oh, where we think the original two temples are, it's not really there, it's really over here, and so we could build it over here. And
yeah, and a lot of symbolism of it.
So they're fighting back and forth. Well, the reality is you still have to have the temple. And we haven't had the two prophets running around Jerusalem telling great and glorious things that
I see the signs more nowadays than I've ever even heard of in history. I will say that.
That's right. And then and part of the prophecies is 2/3 of the population of everything will be destroyed. The birds, the fish, the trees, the people, everything living. 2/3 are supposed to be destroyed. So when somebody stands up and says the Illuminati, they want 90% depopulation. Well, they even got the percentage wrong.
Well, there's a lot of misinformation as far as that goes, but I can't deny what I am seeing on Earth today compared to what's ever been seen in history that we know of it.
Well, I'm thinking that people that were going into World War II and Hitler and da-da-da-da, and as more and more was, I'm sure they were thinking the same thing. This is the end of the time, end of the days, whatever. But good rose up in the name of the United States, and we beat back the Japanese, and we beat back the Germans, and voila, here we are. We got through that. No,
What do you think? Oh, Tom must have stepped away. Tom?
Or he's replaced
It's
himself.
the first time I've ever heard this perspective, and it's actually kind of something I want to sit back and think on a little bit.
Well, the long and the short of it is, when in doubt, go back to the book and see what God said. I mean,
but so many at the book right now are coming to the end of time's conclusions.
Well, a lot of them are, but a lot of them, when God got a hold of me, I said to myself, well, now that I know there's God and there is Jesus, then I've got to go find a church, and I got to get my nose into the Bible, and I got to read the Bible. So I buy me a Bible, and I start in at the beginning of the book because that's what I was taught. You always start the book at the front, right?
Oh yeah, and you're not talking.
And I got up
you read it from the beginning to the end. You don't start at the back. You read from the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. You read from the beginning to the end. So I start with Genesis. Then I get to the begats, and I'm just and I put it down.
Tom, stop! You're cracking me up. Diane, tell him to stop.
Then I pick it up again. Well, this went on for a number of years. I couldn't get my nose really into the book. So one day I'm standing in line, and there's a stack of Bibles in the Navy Exchange for 79 cents a piece. And I pick one up just to look at it while I'm waiting my turn at the cash register. And when I open it up, I see red in the black print. And I thought, what is this? Well, then I realized that all the red was what Jesus said. And then later on, I'm told, well, that's really a Catholic Bible that they've highlighted in red what Jesus said.
I'm a recovering Catholic, and that's why I had to completely unlearn everything I was built on.
Okay, well, then that's the one thing the Catholics.
So that's why they're in red, because his words can't be changed.
Right. Okay. So I agree with that. So I said, you know what I'm going to get this book for 79 cents, and I'm going to read just the red. I'm only going to read what Jesus said. Once I did that, I said, now I got to go back and read the black around the red to see what in context he said this. Once I did that, then I said, well, now I got to go back to the beginning of the book and read the Old Testament for the context of which he was speaking, because he didn't come to change any of that. So I did. That's how I got through the Bible. Well, in doing that, it's cement because every time I did it, then I reread the red. You have to know what Jesus said. What Jesus said was, he was the teacher. He taught us, and he tells us this. When you pick me, it's not going to be easy. He tells
That's
us.
kind of how I learned.
You know, and you go into
myself.
you go into any one of these churches that are hallelujah, get Jesus, da da da, be saved, da 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 da. They don't tell you that as soon as you give yourself over to Jesus, Satan's going to attack you, and you're going to have nothing but terrible times for that first year because he doesn't want you believing in Jesus.
Let me tell you something about that. That is absolutely reality. Okay? Even though my weird head is here and I'm messing with you people, no, that's absolutely the truth.
I don't think you're taking me very seriously, Tom.
No, I am. Truly, that is so serious that most people do not know that at all, and they will not understand what you're saying. Okay, Satan, when you give yourself over to him, you've done it. I haven't done it. I'm still. Let's see. Wait if I get my eyes back on here.
Yeah, notice you come out from behind your still picture.
Come out behind from my dog.
You're showing your real self, except for the cat.
Yeah, I'm showing my real self here. I'm coming out behind from Satan, and I'm telling you the truth. The truth is that Satan will rule your damn life, and you will go through the tribulations that we are going through, and no one really understands that stuff. That's what's hard about this. If you really understand and you start reading the Bible and you start understanding the New Testament, the Old Testament, I have both. I have all this stuff right here, which I do read, and people do not understand that I do that. Okay? That I actually read it. That's where people are losing reality because they don't understand that I'm really doing that and I'm really paying attention to biblical things. This is real, everybody. We want to lay down and say it's not. We want to say it's not real. No, it is real, and we are going through this right now, in all humanity is. But for us that understand that this is happening now, this is going on now, and we are all facing these challenges in life, which no one really actually understands. There's many people who are going through these trials and tribulations that do not understand them. Okay. Going through this. Okay. But you see that? I mean,
Hey,
really?
Tom, I'm about ready to fall asleep here, guys.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's time we wrapped it up. But I think this has been a really good show tonight.
And I want to end this right because
I think it's been a great conversation, Tom. What do you think, Diane?
Yeah, I think it's been a great. Yeah, I think it's been one of the best shows that we've had in well, forever maybe. This,
for a long time. I just want us to realize. See, you guys realize this as well as I do, that we are in these times. So we have to realize that we are facing all these tribulations that are happening. We really have to understand that, and we have to understand that even with my little dog, I can duck out of here. But the real truth is, and I keep showing this, and because people can't get it, they don't understand it. That I don't understand why people can't understand this.
Well, I think that's to me,
right
it's apparent that Satan has gotten a whole lot more power than he's ever had in my lifetime.
I agree. Like I said, I think Satan's stronger now,
Absolutely.
and he's seeping in all the cracks and crevices everywhere. And then with the way our world's become with technology and the grip that it has on humans and how it's changed our human nature, basically.
Sure.
Well, and the thing too is, you know, God, in essence, promised Satan 7 years.
Yes.
Okay, and he's been living all his time for those 7 years. And I think at any time in those 7 years, they can be reduced to, you know, 2.5 minutes or 3.5 years. They don't have to be completed just because the 7 years seemingly has started, which at this point, I would say we're probably in the 7 years.
Yeah.
I would agree, and also
And the Antichrist is somebody we already know, you know? But it doesn't have to be.
Reduction time too on that, because
Yeah,
we don't know if it's his years or if it's their years or our years.
right. Well, let's hope it's 7 of our years, because if you're going to go a day is 1,000,
Yeah.
that could be really bad.
Yeah.
What we do realize, guys, okay, is everybody wants to talk about this. We're realizing that these things are important. Okay, it's all here, and if we read it, okay, this is just a simple, clean version of it, which I keep showing everybody because I want them to get the clean version of it. I don't want them to start trying to read a bunch of stuff. I want them to read the simple version of the New Testament, which is what people are not doing. They're going to the Bible study versions. They're going to the full. I have all that, but really,
well, that's what she was saying about the Catholic Bible. You know, basically.
Well, don't go all into that because.
Well, no, all I'm saying right now is really you need to sit down and read the red and see what Jesus said and dissect it. And let it speak to you and make it's a one-on-one. You don't need anybody. You don't need me. You don't need a minister. You don't need a father telling you how to interpret what he said. You say, Jesus, I want to know you. Speak to me through your words. Put it in my heart what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false. And let's get this show underway here. So that when I talk to other people, I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. But a lot of people know Jesus through the silly movies they made out of him.
I keep showing you this because this is because what people get wrong is they try to read all this stuff. This book right here in front of me, I'm showing everybody, is a simple, clear New Testament without any crap in it. There's no other stuff in it. So you read it, it's so clear. And guess what? It's Jesus' word. A lot of it is very clear. And I can show you many other books right here that I can, if you give me a minute, I can pull up and show you the New Testament, all the red letter words. I can show you all that stuff that I read. That stuff I read.
I use the Book of Enoch to help me further interpret the meaning of
that's another good book, but people do not
you don't live by it, but it's used as a reference study guide, basically. For me, it was.
All right, hold on.
Well, I have it, but I've never been able to get through it.
All right, hold
on. Tom, where'd you go?
Well, he evaporated. He left his
Poof. I think he said, hold on.
He's become schizophrenic, I think.
okay. All right. Here.
I thought he was going to hide under the desk for a minute.
I'm not going to hide under the desk. You see this?
You see a blank piece of paper or something.
What is that, Tom?
The Bible. God's sake.
Well, it doesn't
Oh,
look
you had
like
it
it
too
has
close
a
to the
Bible
camera. I
cover.
couldn't. Yeah.
Hold on a second. There you go. Y'all think I don't do this and don't read this stuff?
Well, I never said you did or you didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm not trying to persuade you in any direction at all. But there you go. Read the red.
Yeah.
Just read the red. I mean, you read the red. He even gives you clear-cut definition of who Satan is.
Tom, the red is his words, and his words cannot be changed, and that's why they're in red.
they're in red.
They're the blood.
Oh, here.
They represent the blood that he sacrificed for us.
Now this is another one, okay?
In
Another
other
Bible.
words, his words are written in blood.
And they are. And let's look at this right here. This is exactly what it is. His blood. I can show you all the red letter writings in this book, okay? Which I have shown you here. I did it just here. Now you just give me another second, okay? Because I have this clear book.
Oh, I know what you're doing. You're trying to show the difference. Okay.
Okay, that reads what it reads. I have that one that has all the red letter. I don't know if you can see that or not. Red letters in it. Okay, explain everything to you in red letter. Jesus' words, his words, are in here. Okay.
Right?
Now, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Just please take down the dog.
The dog, I thought it was a kitty cat. Maybe it's because of the whiskers.
Maybe it is a kitty cat.
I don't know.
No, I
Now,
think it's a dog.
I think he's
Oh, wait a
flipped
minute.
out.
It's got kitty cat ears.
now,
I thought those were
I
dog ears
want you to
beside
see
him.
this.
Well, Clovis was after me because I wasn't saying anything. Well, I wasn't saying anything because you guys were saying such good stuff. I just wanted to listen to you guys talk. And she said, speak up and say something. And I wrote back and I said, look, I tried a couple of times, but they're really going at it strong, and I want to hear what they're saying.
I told Clovis to tell
Here's
you.
the King
because I thought
James.
maybe
Yay,
you
the
felt
King
like
James.
you weren't getting able to talk. I didn't know you were just chilling. I didn't mean to try to put you on the spot or anything.
Right there. All right, I want everybody to see this. Now,
Do you have the Geneva Bible?
That is what it's actually.
not. I do not, and I do not. I don't have that.
That's the one that the forefathers brought over with them. I still don't know why they preferred it to the King James. You know, I haven't read any.
This is the King James Bible that I have.
Well, that's what I have. I was raised. Actually,
Actually,
I was raised up on a Schofield King James Bible.
You got to hold it back a little bit further, Tom. You hold it too close. There you go.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
I like the Bible that's got the indentations there that you can go more easily to the beginning of a book.
I do too.
anything you want to go to, you can go to really quick.
Yeah, right.
You like the fact that it has that?
I do.
This is my brand new King James. I haven't really gone through this a lot. I've went through my other ones a lot. They're kind of wore out. But this is my newer one, which is, it's a $high book. This ain't cheap. But it doesn't matter about that. It matters about going through it and reading it. This is the Old Testament and the New Testament all right here. It's all right here. And we can go through this and we can talk about it with other people, and they don't get it. So I don't know what to tell the people other than
that's the problem. There's too many people that don't. Once upon a time, that's what families did. They sat down and had their dinner and they read the Bible at night.
Right. That's what we should do.
In fact, kids learn to read through the Bible.
I actually have a brand new Bible too, Tom, but you'll laugh at me. I had to get large print.
Oh, I have a great big one. It's about foot tall. That one's
Doesn't
really
matter.
easy to
Get eye
read.
surgery, and I don't qualify for eye surgery. They said I
As
don't have
long
enough skin tissue on my eyes, so I just bought a large print
as
Bible.
long as you can read it, girlfriend, it doesn't matter.
Yep, there you go.
You know what? It doesn't matter. As long as you can get comprehension out of it and understand.
That's what was
We're looking at
aggravating me. I was straining and less reading my Bible because it was hurting me too. You know, I couldn't make out the words and stuff, so I went ahead and ordered a large print Bible.
I think you can even get the Bible in an ebook or something where it's read to you.
Yes, you
Right.
can.
Right, you can get it. The Living Bible, okay? This is the Living Bible, okay?
Well,
But let me say something about that before anybody goes off. Let me say something about the Living Bible, okay? I don't like it, okay? All other than the fact that it has Jesus' words in it, okay? Because your red letter words are in this Bible, but it's not the King James. There, your dog just told me. He said that was true.
Sorry
Your
about
dog
that.
just said, hey, if it's not the King James, don't listen to it. Right, there it went again. See?
Yeah, I'm going to head out. They want out. They want to go out, so I'm going to go ahead and drop off and tell you guys good night. And thank you very much, Tom. Always a pleasure. I always mesh so well with you when I talk with you, Diane. Awesome topics tonight, guys.
yeah,
Thank
it's
you for having
really
me
good.
on.
And I got to drop off too because I've got two that need to go out for the night. And a third one is waiting on his chicken treat that he doesn't get till they go out. So
Chicken
it's,
treat.
yeah, they get like a chicken jerky,
Okay.
which is they just dearly love it.
Oh, yum. Mine would love that too.
Yes.
I've
And
got
they
some.
love chicken. They just love chicken. So,
Well, peace to you all. Much love and take care.
all right, we'll see you around the block
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Thank you, Becky, and thank you. I appreciate you all coming on here, and I love you guys.
Love you too, Tom. You take care. Sleep good when you get there.
Thank you,
Get there,
Tom.
man.
Good night, Becky.
Good night, Diane.
Bye-bye.
See what incredible people that can come on, show incredible things, even though they may not know all the resources and things that are behind everything. They're like really cool. Get Becky, get any of these people. I'm sorry if I don't remember who you are coming on here that are absolutely awesome. And yeah, when you look at these things, you start reading. I'm gonna try to show you real quick. Okay. Let's start reading the words, guys. Let's start reading and understanding what's going on. Because I can switch pages after pages of what Christ says here. He means what he's saying. Oh, this is the real deal. Everybody wants to not pay attention to this stuff. Okay, you don't want to pay attention? Fine. Don't. Go live off in your little damn world and don't pay attention to what's being told to you. This is all being told to us right now. See, I wish you could pause and read what's going on. That's the red letter words of Jesus Christ himself telling you what's up. How many of you how many of you people out here are going to actually read things like this? Not many. You won't read it because most of you out here are stupid and have no clue what the hell's going on. You're not going to read anything. You're not going to understand anything. You're not going to put anything forward in your life as you need to. Now, again, I'm going to say this really quick, is prepare yourselves because we're going down a road that we're not, it's not looking good. If everybody else wants to blah, 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 everything's going to be cool. Okay, cool. All right, you think that's okay? All right, so here I am, a dog or something on here. I don't even know what the hell it is. It doesn't even matter, okay? You better figure out what's up soon. You better get your family ready. You better figure out your life. You better figure out what's going on, what's coming down. If you don't, it's okay. It's your loss. For your own damn sake. So, I love everybody here. Thank you very much for being a part of this and my show. Thank you, Clovis. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, everybody else who's a part of this, who was here today. It means a lot to me. They matter, and they're in my world. I won't let those people go. Amen to all you. God bless you.